Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Just planning to come back and do some more Pokemon stuff. I actually wasn't originally going to, but had a bit of a change of plans. So, yeah, I've had a bit of an absence lately, and I haven't really been on in a while, I'm sure you guys can tell. I explained it, but I will explain this again, because I didn't really ever formally get a chance to. So, yeah, last week decided to go on a break for about a week or two. I needed some time to myself. I just felt like I'd been stressed out, and also I'd been streaming a lot, and I was in need of cleaning up, so spent the entire week basically taking time to go clean up my apartment a little bit and make it look nicer so that it'd be ready in case I needed to have anybody over, if in case I think there was supposed to be an apartment inspection. I don't know. I think it may have got changed in date. It came to the inspection last month. Thankfully, I wasn't in any trouble. It's not my apartment being messy. It's cleaned up now, but I had a bit of a heart attack because I was just not ready. So, yeah, I've been spending most of last week doing that. I wanted to do other stuff too, but something had been on my mind. This is about Pokemon right now, so don't worry. I was planning to do a lot of upgrades on the Discord, even if it's not a lot of stuff, but I was wanting to put in say, new channel for watching videos and maybe work on doing stuff for the channel. And I've been meaning to for the longest time. I'm just really bad about it. But yeah, I kept thinking in the back of my mind how, for the longest time, I've been wanting to get a shiny living dex in this game. And if anybody's been noticing that I've been playing this game a lot, that's part of the reason why, is because I've been getting back on that. I've decided this year I was going to buckle down and get serious about finishing up on Pokemon Let's Go. I've been playing this game a ton in my spare time. I don't really tend to stream any of my shiny hunts. I think I've got maybe 5 or something at most up on the channel, and I want to change that, to be honest, because I actually like playing this game a lot, even though it's gotten a little bit stale because of the fact it's just waiting on a Pokemon to spawn, catch it, and then once you get enough of them, you just sit there and wait and wait and wait, and nothing else happens. That's the biggest problem with this game, but I don't mind it. It can be annoying, but that's why I've been playing it at a slow down pace, where it's been me just getting stuff when I can. I genuinely enjoy this game, more so than Sword and Shield. I couldn't say why I exactly wanted to get the living dex in this, though. I think it's because of I've explained this story, but I'm going to explain it again for anybody who's new. I had a near completed national dex at one point. I had Soul Silver when I was younger, and well, ended up losing my copy of it because I lent it to a cousin, and they weren't very careful with the cartridge. Ended up, I don't know what happened to it, really. It just got lost somewhere and out of its case, and then I tried to look for it. I couldn't find it, and I was devastated because I put a ton of time into this whole Pokédex, getting all these Pokemon. I had all these event Pokemon I'd been after, and I had a lot of Pokemon that I'd collected from different gens already. Oh shit. It's only 1 or 2 caught, though, so I'm not really worried if it gets away. But yeah, I had all this stuff collected and ready, and I got a Mew from Pokemon Ranch. I remember getting an event Celebi from a Toys R Us or something. I went to, let's see, what else was there? I got a GameStop Deoxys, the Wishmaker Jirachi, and I had gotten my hands on Darkrai and Shaman. My friend had a spare Arceus he was gonna trade me, and had all these Pokemon ready. Good chunk of exclusives. It's mostly just filling out a lot of the minor stuff in the decks, and losing that cartridge shattered me and really hurt when it happened. I was just I kind of lost a lot of my enthusiasm for Pokemon once that happened. It wasn't like I was completely broken, but I was just upset by it to the point that I didn't want to play it as much anymore. And when Gen 5 came around, I wasn't really super impressed the way it looked, but ended up picking it up because of a friend recommending it to me, and I'm glad I did, because I like the storyline in that game. Hold on, I'm just checking to make sure the chat's working. Looks like it. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and the reason I'm bringing this long-winded story up in the first place, is that I really want to make up for that shortcoming, even though it's not really a big deal. I've never been able to complete a Pokédex. I don't really care as much about the Sword and Shield one. I mean, I could, but I wanted to complete like a national Pokédex. I don't know if I ever bothered trying to just go for a regional dex outside like the first and second gen, maybe. It's been my goal for the longest of times, and after that, I just couldn't bring myself to try again. It just wasn't in me to give it a second shot. I just didn't feel motivated or happy enough at all. And then I remember when I saw this like being teased for the first time. You might think it's a little odd to like want to go to this and get like that done, but something about the idea of like having a limited Pokédex with only like the original 150 was appealing to me. I don't like decks, I'll be honest, but there's something special about this. It's almost like it tries to re-encapsulate what made the first gen special, at least all the best parts of it. Not the first gen was anything too amazing, because I've played Yellow version on stream not that long ago, and I didn't really particularly have a lot of love for it, so yeah, I'll just say that. I feel like its shortcomings were pretty hard to ignore. It's not to say this game isn't like, well, how do I word this? Well, I was gonna say it isn't similar to Yellow. It doesn't have some of the same shortcomings, but I feel like I enjoy this game a lot more than I do Yellow version. It's got a lot of good improvements, in my opinion. Wait, what? I'm not here to shiny trade. Read my description. If I wanted to play Pokemon Sword, I'd play Pokemon Sword. Thank you very much. I'd say Let's Go stream. Read the title. Sorry if it's rude, but it's the truth. I'm not playing Pokemon Let's Go so I can play Pokemon Sword or Shield. That was a little bit... Okay, bye, I guess. That was a little strange to me. I mean, if you see the title is Let's Go, then why would you assume I'm going to be playing Sword and Shield? I'm not interested in swapping games, and I set a very clear title up. Although I guess if I finish early, I might consider it, but whatever. That's not something I intend to do. Since I was talking about Yellow version in this, I guess we can discuss like the pros and cons of both. I don't think it'll hurt to. I never really did that before, as far as I can remember. I've got to say, like, Gen 1 had a lot of things that made me very, very unhappy with it as a whole, even though I liked it as a kid. Namely being that I hate stuff like the inventory limitations and like the HMs, even though those were like a thing for a long time. I hated it how... What's wrong with this? I hate the Safari Zone, as, for example, which you'd think would translate into me hating this game too, because the catching is so similar to the Safari Zone, but no, I actually like this game a lot. Hi there, Riku H, welcome to stream. Let's see if I can remember everything. So what did I talk about already? I talked about the limited inventory. I'm not actually entirely sure if I can remember everything, but there were quite a few. I think the encounters in Gen 1 were pretty bad from what I remember. They were always like really spammy. They were not fun to put up with, especially if you walked in a cave and then you got it ambushed by like a billion Zubat, and that's still a bit of a problem in this game, because you can like walk around the spawn. It's not really a big deal. Which actually leads me up into like some of my complaints about this game, actually, as much as I love it. Let's talk about the biggest thing that's like, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest things about this game that's different is that's the catching system. Like, this catching system is very, very different from like every other Pokemon game. I think anybody would be quick to agree on that. I think the only similarity is Go. I definitely wasn't a fan of this at first, but I've got to say, as you get used to this game, and if you shiny hunt in it to any extent, you learn to adapt to it really quickly, and I kind of like this a little more in a few areas. It's actually pretty easy to use once you get used to it. Like, if you're just filling out your Pokédex, yeah, it's kind of lame. It can be difficult to work with, but when you're like, after a shiny, it works out really well. I think one of my biggest issue with the catching is that the ranking you, I guess ranking is the right word, I don't know how you'd word it, like the rating you get for throwing your ball, it doesn't feel like it has enough impact on the actual catch. You can throw an excellent catch and still get an immediate breakout without anything being screwed up, regardless of what ball type you're using, and you've only got 4, like, Premier and Pokeball are on the same level, so you've got, actually it's like 5, but yeah, you only have like these Pokeballs, and there's Master Balls, but you're not going to realistically be using Master Balls too often. The biggest purpose of Master Ball is when you see a shiny that you are afraid of letting get away, then you want to toss the Master Ball so the shiny can't flee from you. But the Ultra Balls don't do the job, and the Great Balls don't. You'd think this was like a major point of contention with me, but like there's actually a pretty neat little feature in this actually. So I should have talked about this earlier. I guess I just needed to sure I built this up enough. But once you capture up to 100 of a certain species of Pokemon, that whole catching thing no longer happens to be a problem. Once you get to 100 caught Pokemon, it is infinitely easier to capture any species of Pokemon you want in this game. Some of them even easier than that. If they're hard, just if you want to shiny them especially, just keep catching them until you've got that 100. They will go and become significantly easier to capture once you hit 100. It's not going to be chained, it's just got to be caught in general. It's an interesting system, too. It seems like it varies how it works on certain Pokemon. Like, I don't know exactly what the qualifier is, but I've noticed with, like, say, for example, Seal, like, went on a shiny hunt for, like, not that long ago. Caught, like, I don't know, 50 Seal. And then the ring turned green, like, around 50 or 60 with Ultra Balls. And then when I got to, like, 100... it caught total, it went to green with Pokeballs, so you can use this as like a way to try and get as many of them as you need. It's also like a really good idea if you're going after like a shiny living dex like I am and you want to have like the whole set. You basically go and nerf the catch rate for any future hunts if you do this. And that's what I'm doing with Kadabra right now. Oh cool, I'm glad I could give you a tip. It's something I picked up on over time. I didn't actually know about it at first. It would have made life a lot easier if I had known about it, but I mean, whatever. Let's see. What else can I talk about really quickly? We'll say, even though it's not a big deal, I kind of do miss the other battle, like the proper battle system a little bit. I mean, you got battles in terms of like battles you go into against trainers, but overall that was a lot easier for catching Pokemon. The system is good though. It's kind of lame though sometimes when you just want to go in and get a hunt over with and you want to be done. You have to keep doing this over and over. And it takes a while to do this even though it's not extremely difficult. Like in Sword and Shield, you just start the game up and you can go knock out a bunch of Pokemon, and because of the way Pokemon battling has always worked, if you know what you're doing, it'll be relatively simple getting the shiny once it's on screen. You just gotta have enough Pokeballs and get enough strategy. God, this Kadabra does not want to stay in the Ultra Ball. Yeah, this game has a lot of odd cons to it. Oh, actually, I think it's about to bleed. I'm not certain. I don't want to fuck up my chain when I'm this far. That actually brings me to another major point that I have to take away from this game, actually. Something that bothered me quite a bit, and it's not the biggest deal in the world, but good lord is it annoying. The way Pokemon can just escape from you in this game is kind of infuriating, because it's basically completely out of your control. Like, I guess in most cases you'd probably be thinking, like, since I was talking about shiny hunting, why wouldn't I just do the aforementioned method and get the Pokemon instead of worrying about whether or not I'm going to catch it? And there's a very specific reason to that. If you're any degree new to shiny hunting and Let's Go, this whole, like, catch combo thing is actually really, really important to the shiny hunting, and I think most people know about that. Hey, Wayne. What's up? I guess I don't know if my YouTube didn't send out a notification. My bad if it didn't. I don't know. I was going to send it in Discord a little later. Anyway, back to what I was talking about before I read the messages. But, yeah, this catch chain is really helpful. You can use it for 2 shinies every time you bother to, like, go after a shiny Pokemon. Basically, what you do in most scenarios, you'll build your catch combo up to 31, and then once you're done with that 31, you go and wait on your target shiny to appear, and then after you've caught it, you can use it for... What the fuck is it doing? I need to bump into it. Oh, goody. It's getting caught on the level, I think. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, you basically wait on your target, assuming it's the same thing you're catching, that is, because if you had to do it in a different Pokemon, you'll break the chain, but you use it to get your target Pokemon, and then when you're done, you can just go find an area and, like, wait on a Pokemon you want that's you don't have in shiny yet. I like to do this when I'm, like, after something that's very, very common. I used to do it with, like, a whole bunch of different Pokemon species, but I've started to realize, like, over time that's really unwieldy, so the best purpose for it is to basically go and use it for either A, like a guaranteed spawn, or B, for really, really common Pokemon. If you're new to the game, your best resource for using, like, a 31 chain, you don't have, like, a lot of shinies to be, go to Viridian Forest. You will almost certainly find something that you don't already have there unless you've been shiny hunting in the forest itself. Like, there's going to be something new popping up and you can catch it after a little bit, and it's got the most spawns in the game. The point it lags the system. I don't know how long I'm going to go on today, actually. Let me see what the messages are, because I didn't... Oh, you just said that. I don't know what your other messages said, my bad. I didn't get to catch your messages as quickly as I wanted to. But yeah, this system's good. It's got some issues to it. Let's see, what else should I talk about? Oh, yeah, there's quite a few things, actually. This is something it's really relevant to this game that I almost glimpsed over that I don't like. Like, the biggest thing I can immediately name that I don't like is basically the lack of held items. That bothers me a ton. I don't feel like they're necessary for the battling, but in general, there's more harm that comes from not having held items than there are, like, not having them. And I'm glad the Master Balls are easily farmable to, like, make up for the fact you can't, like, trade them to yourself if you want to get, like, multiples, but take, for example, like, a basic Everstone. That's a thing that's been in Pokemon since Gen 2, and for good reason, because it's an easy way to stop evolving from being, like, a total pain in the ass if you want to just keep a Pokemon, and it's like it's pre-evolution. In this game, you don't get that pleasure. You just gotta keep smashing the B button every time the evolution screen pops up. Also, there's, like, another thing that bothers me is there's no breeding, which there's a lot of things that are really stupid about that. Like, there's some species in this game that are really awfully annoying to hunt. Like, if you've ever gone after any of the Alolan Pokemon or gone after any of the fossils, those would be infinitely easier with breeding. Same with like, let's see, same with stuff like Goldeen, because Goldeen spawns in a pond that has like no room to move around. Like, there's a lot of gripes I can give this game as much as I can give it praise. I still like it a lot though. Let's see, really quick. What's been going on since I've been gone? I think I talked about it a little bit on Discord, but I didn't talk too much, so I guess I can like reiterate what it was going on, but I essentially went on a break so I could focus on trying to like go after cleaning stuff up around my apartment, and also I just wanted like a little bit of time away after like playing so much Sword and Shield, because I had like actually felt like I was losing it from how many shiny hunts I went on and had like dragged their feet. Hope these don't take too long, but this will be a little worse considering I don't get the option to turn the game off until I'm done. Excuse me, ugh. They did in their little 3-star in the original game. Yeah, I can agree with that. That'd be nice, although I just hope that even if they did that, like I would have hoped they'd kept the wild Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle spawns in the game, since honestly, having like an easy method to catch them and shiny hunt them is really, really convenient, and I hope they don't abandon that in the next Let's Go game. I hope they keep that as a feature, but I also hope they decide to be smart and not go, oh, nobody likes breeding, we're going to exclude it from the game, because if they do that again, I might actually be tempted not to buy it, because as much as I like this game, like, some of these shiny hunts are legitimately miserable without breeding. You guys want to hear a story, actually, like when I was doing, like, my shiny hunt for Kabuto and Kabutops, I haven't got both of them since I only got one right now, but I originally was, like, going after one, gathered, like, a bunch of fossils after realizing there was, like, an easy way to farm them after I'd, like, got an Omanite, which came really, really quickly, thankfully, but I got, like, 50 or more dumb fossils together in, like, I guess, like, 25 or something in Old Amber. They weren't all at the same time. I've been using them up really, like, slowly at the point. This is before I, like, I decided to, like, put down some money on a controller that has, like, a turbo button on it so that I could make this easier on myself. And let me tell you, this was, like, the most miserably awful shiny hunt I'd ever been on. I kept reviving these, and, like, it took me forever to go through all of them. And because it's the max odds, nothing was getting accomplished. It took me, like, 2 weeks to get a shiny out of it, and it wasn't even a Kabuto in the end. I ended up with the shiny Aerodactyl instead. I was still really, really stoked that I got it, but I was, like, so annoyed and angry and upset with the game that I was just, like, already decided that I was never going to put myself through that a second time, because it just wasn't worth it unless I had, like, a good way to actually repeat the fossil revives without me having to keep up with it, because it's mind-numbing to put up with. I remember when I was doing, like, Omanite, and I think the same thing happened with Kabuto, I fell asleep on occasion, and just from, like, boring myself from, like, sitting there tapping the A button and trying to keep up with everything. Hi there, Shiny Hype. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. It was not a fun time doing that shiny hunt. I've had some really rough ones. Also, I've got to say, even though I don't like some of the features in this, like I've said, I kind of hope that they decide to do, like, a second Let's Go game for Gold and Silver. I'd really love doing, and, like, we're just doing sessions of this game. I was going to say, like, I enjoy playing this and shiny hunting. When is my next stream? I mean, I'm not certain. I'm probably going to be on tomorrow. I don't have, like, an explicit schedule that I keep up with. You can ask anybody on my Discord server, my friends, and, like, they'll tell you. I don't really properly have a schedule, but I do have, like, a general guideline I follow for when I stream, and I usually go for, say, 3 to 4 streams a week, if not 5. I usually give myself, like, 2 days off a week. The thing is, like, that I Particularly, I'm bad about picking a time to stream at. It could be any time of the day, I don't really know, but usually when I stream, I like to gun around 3 to 5 p.m. Central. That's in my time zone, but yeah, I'm gonna run. I don't think it's gonna wait around on me much longer. But yeah, I stream around that time usually, but it's never a guarantee. Sometimes I'll start early and only go on for like an hour or two. Sometimes I go on for like 5 or 6 hours, and it's started at like 6 or 7 o'clock, depending on how things are turning out. I don't really have like a super convenient guideline I follow, and I also don't always guarantee I'll be active on a given week, but typically you can expect me to stream like at least 5 days out of the week, and usually around 3 to 5. It's not always the case, though. Let me see. Down to watch you play the Kingdom Hearts games? I mean, sure. I'm not sure how well it'll go over. I'd watch, but I remember watching a friend of mine play something he's playing. I think the 3DS Kingdom Hearts game. I'm not actually sure. I remember which one it was. It might have been. I think it might have been like a PSP game or something. Actually, I don't remember. But he was playing one of them, and the gameplay got a little bit on the boring side after a while and was just not really fun to watch. And it's not, I don't think it's Kingdom Hearts in itself that was boring. I think it was the fact that the game was just kind of a slog compared to some of the other ones, and some of the fights weren't really well designed. But yeah, I'd be down to watch it. I mean, I enjoy hanging out and chatting with you, and plus, you hang out and watch my streams of Dragon Quest, I wouldn't mind. That reminds me, I need to get back on my single-player stuff sometime soon. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I was wondering what happened to my... I thought for a second I glitched my control out. I was just being dumb. Okay, it wasn't moving for a second. I think I'm good. This game makes me a little nervous with the animations. I don't really know entirely how to tell when it's going to flee, but somebody gave me like a tip on this where apparently if they like have their animation play out and the ring's still going, there's a good chance they're going to flee from you. It's still really hard to judge sometimes, though. Did I do everything in Dragon Quest yet? Not quite. I actually, like I said, I need to get back to my single-player stuff. Before I continue that line of thought, I actually want to do a little bit of this. I'm planning to do, like, roughly 3 shiny hunts or so on Pokemon. They're not going to be, like, all during the same days, so I don't worry about them, like, clogging up the schedule. This is going to be handled differently than Sword and Shield. The biggest difference, however, is the fact that I can't break my chain, so when I do this, if I don't get my shiny today, then you can be assured that I will be back tomorrow trying again to spawn the shiny and not playing another game, because I don't want to waste all the time I'm wasting to build this chain up in the first place. It's going to be like a few shiny hunts and a break. Because I've actually done a lot of, like, shiny hunting in my time off. It wasn't over this week, but I think in the last month or so I've done at least 10 shiny hunts. I would have been able to do more, but my targets were mostly Alolan Pokemon and also going after fossil Pokemon. And so I got an Omanite and, like, some Alolan Pokemon forms I was looking for, along with, like, some other common stuff. Alright, man. I appreciate you hanging around. It was fun chatting. Sucks your battery's going low, but thanks for watching anyway. I'll be around, though, if you decide you can come back. I'm still going to be streaming for some time and trying to catch more of these guys. Probably won't be done anytime too soon. I mean, I might stop if I get my Kadabra fast. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes. I want to go after Abra afterwards, but I'm not really sure. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Oh, you were talking about Xenoblade. Actually, yeah, about that. I've been meaning to buy it. The problem I've been having is that I've been trying to import a copy. I think I've talked about it a little bit on my Discord, because I want that limited edition that Europe's getting. But the problem is like all the sites that are selling it are not like importing it to the US, so it's basically a matter of going through another service, and I have to use like I'm trying to use like a mailbox service, but my bank will not approve any type of international charges. So I've been going through this stupid hassle of like working around PayPal for the past few days, actually probably more like a week or two now at this rate. I got a lot of the problems resolved, but I'm like trying to get things set up right, and I've got to say, I don't know if I talked about this on stream, I don't think I have. PayPal has some of the absolute shittiest service I've ever seen. A scam? Are you talking about the service? Are you talking about the limited edition or what? I don't know what you're referring to by the scam part. I don't think it is, and I'm pretty sure they just won't approve it because it's like an overseas charge where where it's converted to another currency, so they're not willing to approve the charge. Because the site I looked at has like a lot of good reviews, and people talk about it being reliable, but I can't really. I'm having trouble with PayPal right now, and I just got my stuff finally worked out. I was like trying to get my account fixed up where I could add funds to it, because PayPal makes it like a major pain in the ass to work around. I must have spent like a week alone dealing with this shit, and now trying to add money to my PayPal is like a test charge, and from what I understand, I think they don't let you actually use your balance unless you've got enough to make the purchase you're after. Like, you can't even do a test charge to use it, so I have to like I only put in like a single $1 at first, and that wasn't enough, so now I have to sit here and put in like $20 so I can do like a test charge with that, and it's really proving to be annoying right now. You got a chance to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the full game and not just the demo? I'm guessing it's good. Most of the people I've seen playing it have been like singing about how good it is, basically singing praises. It looks really good, and it sounds like the gameplay is adapted to be pretty modernized, and like it sounds like it works well. Like, the biggest thing I've heard about is it's even a little worrying is it's got a different story approach than the original Final Fantasy VII did. That's not even like a really big deal, honestly. Huh. I'm not too surprised about that. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people talking about that and how nobody knows how many, like, parts it's going to be, but presumably there's going to be like 2 to 3 parts, if not more, before they're done with it. Do you know how long it is? I'm actually curious. I want to pick it up, but I have a feeling there's going to be a PC version or a Switch version eventually, and if there is, I'm going to, like, bother to get one of those. If it ends up happening on PC or Switch, I'll probably get it. Yeah, it's like, I know what you're talking about. I've heard about that already. People have, like, commented on how part 1 is just Midgar, not anything more than that. 30 to 40 hours? That's not too bad. Wasn't that, like, a pretty short segment in, like, the original Final Fantasy VII, though? So it sounds like they'd stretched Midgar out to be, like, a lot longer, but they fleshed it out as a result instead of just making it like filler. They actually made it interesting. But I haven't been watching too much of it. I've only watched like a little bit of on one of my favorite streamers playing it, and you'd think it'd be about spoilers, but it's not. It's just that I haven't really had the interest in like actually bothering to watch anybody else actually play it, and I'm like, I've seen them play all of Final Fantasy VII. I haven't played it myself. I know the story already, so actually I'm just watching it on their channels. I like seeing them play it. As cool as it looks, I gotta say, it's like taking up all the streams on Twitch right now. Like, everybody's streaming Final Fantasy VII, and it's hard to find like any other categories where maybe playing anything at the moment. Like, it's just mostly Final Fantasy VII Remake with like a side of Animal Crossing when you go on Twitch. That's whatever, I guess it's like that with a lot of new game releases, and probably doesn't help that we're in the middle of like a major game drought at the moment. Yeah, I've heard a lot of the music, like I've heard it and it was really good. Like the battle theme remix of like the original battle music is actually super good. Like listening to it, I like what I've heard. I think it looks great. Let me see, I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit really quick. The PS5, I'm showing on this, the PS5 controller, and what was it? I missed a message. I'm sure. Oh, the Switch 10.0 update. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to bring that up. I'm glad they added that feature. That's a good thing. I didn't like bother to do much of the new update, but it looks like the 10.0 firmware update is like really packing like a lot of new features in it, and they look like they're mostly all good features. Like you can swap games from your main system memory over to SD card now. Same with like DLC and like some other stuff. I don't remember what all it was. There's the button remapping. I think they mentioned something about a bookmark feature, and I think there was one other thing, but I don't remember what it was. But they added a lot, and they also added like some new profile pictures for like Animal Crossing. Honestly, I haven't messed with it at all. I don't know if I'm going to, but a lot of the Switch games I played, I like the controls though. I might like try to mess around a little bit while I'm doing Mario Maker, because I could see that being good if you can like set up specific controls for specific game styles or something maybe, because that'd be kind of neat. Game patches don't go over? What do you mean by that? Well, oh, you mean the patch notes, I think, yeah. Nintendo is weird about that. I mean, they seem like they only just recently started dropping more patch notes. People had to fucking look up like the first time they did it. Oh, hey, I'm not actually sure if you're actually talking about that or not, actually, but yeah, like, and that's like in the first few Smash updates, they didn't bother to like include patch notes, which was really stupid, honestly. Could you stop collecting my Ultra Balls? Thank you. Yeah, that's basically about how I feel. I haven't had a need to. There is one game that I can say benefits from it immediately that comes to mind, but it's not even really a big deal in the end. And that's ARMS, but ARMS had like a button remapping update before already, so it doesn't really matter since you could already remap the buttons. Basically pointless in that scenario. Like the biggest problem, ask anybody with ARMS, with like the gameplay was is you had to click in the stick to guard when you were using a Pro Controller, and it did not work well with the gameplay. It was incredibly frustrating and annoying to work with, and ended up turning me away from the gameplay because it was like you can't block easily when you want to. You're working around this really dumb decision for the controls. Otherwise, a really solid fighting game, and I want to go back to it soon, too, and play it again. Maybe Captain Toad, because I'm wondering if that could be utilized to help with the cursor problem, but I don't think it would. But thinking maybe you could, like, remap some of the features to be in a better, like, mapped a little bit better, and, like, maybe it make the game feel a little smoother to play. That might actually make it worthwhile, but overall, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Oh, wait, actually, that reminds me. I don't know if it would help or not, but that could be good for Mario Tennis. There's a few examples. They're mostly running for it, runs away. But yeah, most of the things it seems like it'd be useful for on multiplayer. I mean, I'm fine with most of the control sets I already use, though, so it's not like it matters. Too bad it's not compatible with like some of the other the other Nintendo controllers they've released, like the Switch's NES controller or whatever, because those are like controllers that could be good for like Mario Makers. You could use that for Smash now if they would let you could like map the D-pad and movement. Since I noticed that with Smash, for whatever reason, they like added like They had like new stuff come out, like say NES Classic, and how it had those controllers. You tried to use it in Smash 4 Ultimate, you would. It was basically unusable because the D-pad would work the same as like you had a D-pad on a Switch Pro controller. Like you would use it and you would be taunting, and that was really fucking dumb. You couldn't move around because there wasn't like any control pad. Now, if you wanted to use a D-pad for whatever reason, you could, presumably. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to, but they'd have to add the support for that controller first, too, I guess. Yeah. I haven't played a lot of indies in a while. Not a lot of the games I play seem to have remapping, as far as I can tell. Well, I haven't played a lot in general lately, so I guess that's partially why. The biggest thing I can think of is maybe it'd be helpful for Smash, but I already like how Smash controls the way it is, so I mean, I wouldn't touch it. Also, please tell me I'm not alone on this, but I kind of hate how there's been like a huge lack of like news on new game releases this year. It's gone dead silent. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand what's going on. Coronavirus is screwing up the whole world right now and making things kind of awful, basically destroying society as we know it, but it feels really odd seeing basically every big game company just completely silent because of the coronavirus, and like there's like nothing new to look forward to at the moment. And the only thing I can think of is Xenoblade coming out. That's another remake, which brings me to like another point I was meaning to bring up with like this year. There've been a lot of remakes already. Like, I'm not certain how many, but the big releases I can. You've got to be kidding me. God damn it. But yeah, like the biggest releases so far have been remakes. Fucking Xenoblade's going to be a remake. Resident Evil 3. Final Fantasy 7. Trials of Mana. There's like a lot of stuff getting remade right now. I may have even forgot some. Let's not forget all the ports. Even though they're not remakes, they're similar. Or odd. Good, you're not bored? Yeah, I'm not too bored, but I've got to say I'm feeling the burn of not having anything new. I think part of it's that I haven't been able to get Animal Crossing. There's no feeling that sucks more than basically wanting to be able to join in on a new game and you just don't have the money to like buy it when you want to. Like that's basically what I've been going through all these different, what was I saying? I've been waiting to this game for like so months and you can't buy it because you don't have the money. Like I've had that issue with Animal Crossing now, and even though I want to buy it, now I'm putting my money towards Xenoblade because I want that remake really badly. Hold on a second. Yeah, welcome Taco and friends. Sorry, I've been like focused on other stuff before I read your message. I see you there. Welcome to the stream. The Dragonite? If you're playing Let's Go, which I would assume you are, because I'm not playing Sword and Shield, obviously. Hey, if you need to be in post-game. Dragonite and Charizard spawn very frequently in post-game. In fact, once you get like, I want to say like 11-ish catch combo or something, they'll start spawning in the sky very commonly, and you can keep an eye on them up there. I wouldn't if you want a shiny one, I wouldn't recommend going after it through a catch combo. Your best bet is to just like either do the doorway and like keep resetting it until one shows up, or go bump into it over and over until you bump into one. Probably somewhere like where I'm at, it's like the best place to go after it. I wouldn't specifically target them though, since they're easy to bump into for shiny. I mean, alternatively, you can get a Dratini if you want that, but Dratini's not great. They spawn near the power plant, and they're in the water, and basically they'll swim around really fast. You just have to watch for them. I had 2 shiny Dratinis from that I had to hunt 2 separate occasions. It was slow and painful. that's my biggest critique with this game, even though it's maybe a weird thing to critique, but I legitimately don't like how you're stuck sitting here staring at your screen, just waiting and waiting and waiting until the shiny shows up, or have to put it in sleep mode and then try again later. And if you close the game, your chain is gone. It's not convenient. God damn it. Let me see really quick. Oh no, it's just reading messages you're talking about. You're not bored. Yeah. A lot of people have like started commenting now. I've noticed like they've talked about they've gotten bored with Animal Crossing. They've done everything there is. I'm kind of surprised some of these people are like so upset about it. Like if you time traveling in the game, you're naturally going to end up exhausting like all the content in the game really fast, where there's not exactly anything left to do. Like you kind of have to expect if you're going at a faster pace and the game wants you to, then you're gonna not have very much to do. Considering it's a game that focuses on real time and encourages you to play every day for new stuff. God, I miss Animal Crossing. It sucks that I haven't been able to get it. I'm not going to be getting it until May now, because I actually want to pick it up really, really badly. All the new features look fantastic, and I'm just waiting until I can finally grab a copy. Ugh, fuck. God, it sucks, and it's like being poor, not being able to buy games like very easily. Like I don't have too many issues all the time, but lately I've been having it a little harder trying to save up money, so I'm able to get my games exactly when I want them easily. Saw someone with 270 hours already. Yeah, somebody who's either played every day or has done like a lot of time travel and been playing it non-stop. I'm not surprised. That's definitely some people who are Animal Crossing addicts right now. I don't know what it is about Animal Crossing. I love it, but I feel like after like a month of the gameplay, usually... Ugh, excuse me, ugh. I don't know what that was, but yeah, for like a month of the gameplay, I usually get kind of tired of playing it and get a little worn down. I think it's because like it's meant to be one of those games where you play it and you get quite a bit to do, but once you start running out of things to do, you really feel the burn of it, and it starts to be just one of those slow burner games where you play it either very little or not at all. It always turns up like this. That's part of why I like the in-game events in Animal Crossing the most, but since I haven't been able to pick it up anytime soon, I haven't been able to experience any of that stuff, like Bunny Day or the fishing tourney that was happening, so I have to miss out on that, and I have to miss out on some of the things that are popping up. You play a lot of it, actually, so now that I think to ask, do you know when the bug tourneys start? Like the next bug tourney is? I don't think they've done one yet. I'm just curious what month the first bug tournament in the game is going to be. Hopefully it's next month, so that if I pick it up next month, I can actually participate in it. That makes me sad, because I wanted to join the fishing tournament. That was one of my favorite aspects of Animal Crossing, and that may be one of the more fun parts, if you ask me, like all the tournament stuff. It gives you something to do. In June? Ugh, that's a ways off. Is there at least going to be another flowering event soon? I know they had that in like New Leaf and also in Wild World, and like I think most games had it. Like there's like a flowering competition where you could like plant a bunch of flowers around your house or just around your town in general, and like try to get a higher score than everybody else. That was something I found to be fun, even though it was also like more of a like, I think it was like a month or a week long event more than it was like a day though. You had like a week to like plant as many flowers as you could and try to make your house the prettiest. It's in June. I'm guessing you're talking about the bug tourney. I don't know. I thought I read the fishing tourney was going to be in June, unless they're doing a fishing tourney and a bug tourney in June as well. There's something that's kind of like had me curious. I don't know if you've like looked into it to see what like the data on this says or anything, but like I'll show you. What was this thing? Oh yeah, like the two hemispheres thing. I'm wondering what's gonna happen with the Christmas event. Doesn't it make sense to only have the snowy, like the Christmas themed events happening only in December? So when one hemisphere is not even supposed to be having snow, what exactly happens when you're in the other hemisphere and it's supposed to be like snowy in the summertime? What happens when you reach Christmas time? Because I wouldn't assume they didn't activate the Christmas events early. I'd expect they'd be keeping them at the same time as like the rest of the world. I'm guessing that nobody knows yet, because I'm guessing they haven't like talked about too many events yet. The only thing I know about is there's apparently some Earth Day event coming up. What's up, City Folk? Hate the game? And the DS and GameCube one, they had nothing. Yeah, it was basically how I felt about it. It was alright. I played it for a while, but it was pretty much a Wii version of the DS game, and it added the city, and that was it. And it wasn't really anything creative or fun, so it ended up being kind of That's also like how I've noticed when I looked at some info, like on. I decided to look more into Animal Forest, which I probably will play again at some point just for the hell of it, but apparently Animal Forest is like one of the games it's not even worth playing, just because the fact that it's the GameCube game is like basically an upgraded version of Animal Forest and significantly better in every way possible, so pretty much better to just play the GameCube game if you want that experience, because you get a more fleshed out game. Games that are new like Splatoon 2 but aren't really new. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like when a dev puts out a game, it doesn't really change very much, if anything. They're just like putting in the bare minimum, then they call it a new game, like how Overwatch 2 is basically a fucking PvP update and they named it Overwatch 2. Like it's even compatible with Overwatch 1, I think they've already said. That's like a classic example of like how I feel like a sequel shouldn't be done. Even though I like it, that's like a thing I don't like about Left 4 Dead 2. Like, I feel like they rushed out a sequel for that game really quickly. I guess that's been a practice for a long time. Definitely enjoy when a sequel's like really good and has like a lot of effort put into it. It's not to say every game that's put out as a sequel fast is bad, though. Like, you want an example of like really good sequels that are like relatively short gap? I'm pretty sure Mario 3 came out relatively shortly after Mario 2 did, and Mario 3 is, for all that is like an extremely great classic game, and I love it myself a lot. And it didn't have as much dev time as some of the other sequels you see out there. It turned out great, though. Also, Pikmin 2, only 3 years after Pikmin 1, and it ended up being like arguably the best Pikmin game in the whole series. I guess it depends. Although, I guess that's partially from Nintendo, because they put out quality games no matter what happens. They'd always put their product up to par, with very few exceptions, even though there are some. I'm curious, what do you guys say like the worst sequels you can think of? Not necessarily like ones that are too similar, just sequels that are really, really bad in general. I have to think a little bit before I can name any, but actually there's a few, but not many that jump to mind right away, but there's some stuff like you look at it and you just look at the previous work that devs made and it's like, what went wrong? Like they had the really great game and then they made a sequel that turned into a fucking train wreck. I think the biggest and easiest sequel to pick on would be Duke Nukem Forever, though. I don't know how bad it is. I haven't really played it. I've heard from some people it's actually an okay game. It's not very good, but That's just a huge lesson on how not to do your sequel. That was like, what, like 15 years of the Duke Nukem devs, maybe more of them, like, promising a sequel, and it just didn't fucking come out, and because they kept changing it, and then when they did, it just didn't really live up to the hype. It wasn't really that good of a game, according to what everybody says. Like, it looked promising from the trailer, but ugh. I can't say that I can, like, speak on behalf of how it compares to the other games, because I've only played, like, a tiny bit of Duke Nukem in general, and I have yet to completely adapt to the controls of the games. They feel a little bit hard to control, even for an old FPS, so I'd probably have to sit down and play Duke Nukem 3D and get used to it before I can, like, try to compare it. I've wanted to play forever, though, and see how it plays on streams. I mean, that might be a thing in the future. Hi there, 935 Fox. Good to see you. Or E-Fox. My bad if I'm trying to pronounce her name right. Nuts and Bolts. Yeah, I agree with you there. That one's... I feel like Nuts and Bolts was not completely a horrible game. It was definitely a terrible sequel. But, like... I've got to agree with, like, JonTron, like, a lot of people who've already, like, reviewed the game. Even though I haven't played it, like, watching the footage of the game, it's very clear that this game had an identity crisis. Like, Microsoft had Rare commissioned with it, but it doesn't seem like they ever committed to one idea. The game goes too far, and it doesn't delve far enough into the platforming or the car aspects, and it just ends up feeling really kind of not that great, honestly, so... ends up being an overall mediocre game that could have been a lot better. Even if they'd committed to the car idea, it would have been better than having, like, no sequel at all. I mean, it would have been a spin-off that probably nobody would have liked, but it would have at least been, like, something. You didn't like Parappa the Rapper 2, or the Rapper 2? Yeah, I don't actually know much about the sequel. I've watched Parappa the Rapper, and I haven't played it any... I know there's, like, a spin-off, and it doesn't look that interesting. Like, I saw some of the, like, scenarios in the game, and they're really weird. Like, one of them implies the main character, like, dies. It's some really weird shit, honestly. God. Just, like, I've noticed, like, in the day, like, devs did some weird shit with games, and, like, would feel like they almost pushed the envelope on what they could get away with games, or what they could get away with in games, just to, like, test the waters and see how far before somebody stopped them with something like an idea, I guess. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my words out at the moment. Like, you say some strange shit when you... stuff when you look up some of the, like, old PS1 games. I don't see that as much on N64. I guess there's a few examples. You guys ever, like, looked up Mario Artist before or seen, like, any stuff from it? That game is really odd. Japan-only sequel to Mario Paint and has, like, 3 different tools for it. That it's, like, it got these weird extra things in it, though, that are just, like, kind of out of place looking. Like, there's, like, a whole open world thing with, like, this, like, car creating thing or whatever, where you just, like, mess around in the overworld, and it's really bizarre. It's not bad, just a really, really strange thing that was, like, done for the game, and I don't know why. I guess I know why they didn't bring it to the West, and it's because it was weird, and they were probably afraid nobody would understand it. Oh, and you want to talk about weird shit in games, like, just look at some of the stuff that's, like, localized into games, and goddammit, this has happened, like, twice. I'm not surprised, but whatever, I'm gonna keep catching them regardless. Anyway. Like, hey, look at Mother 3, there's some really strange designs in that game. Like, that fucking pissing statue at one point where there's, like, water, like... it's a statue of Porky, it's really weird. It's some of the stranger parts of the game, and... there's also the part where they literally make you eat mushrooms and then you start hallucinating. It's really strange. Mother 3's an odd game. I wonder if, like, any of this stuff is the reason why they haven't tried to localize it. Let me see. Sorry if I didn't read your message there, Wayne. Let me see. Bubsy name and trash the franchise as unused games. Yeah, Bubsy is kind of one of those series where I've like watched what the devs have done with it, and I've got to say I don't get good vibes watching it. I feel like it's really stupid. Like, I feel like they should have just left the series dead and not tried to mess with it. They're constantly trying to like cash in on meme value is kind of obnoxious. They should have just left it alone. But then they decided to use it to like try to port the old games onto Steam, which I guess that's fine. They still look like terrible games, but if they use this to fucking try to build up hype for these garbage new Bubsy games they made, and I think one of them was released like last year or something. I kind of hope these games just fucking die off though, because they look terrible and I don't want to see them anymore, but whatever. It's like Bubsy is fucking dead, and it was died for a pretty good reason, that it was just not a very good game series. Like, just let it stay dead. Quit trying to fucking... what's the right word for it? How do I don't know what you'd call it. Well, basically quit trying to fucking and bring back a dead game franchise. Just fucking let it die, for God's sake. It's not in need of being revived. It wasn't good enough to hang in there. It's not to say every dead game franchise deserves to be dead, but I think Bubsy is one of those franchises that's probably better off being left dead. Let me see. Mario teaches typing. Yeah, there were two of those. Nintendo did a lot with Mario games back in the day, I noticed, that are like... I guess I was going to say, like, they did a lot of Mario games. You wouldn't see them doing now. I mean, they did Mario Kart Tour and Super Mario Run, but you'll barely ever see Mario games that aren't on Nintendo consoles now, if ever. And then back then they got really experimental with all the stuff they could do. Like, I'm pretty sure if I looked it up, you could find a list of different Mario games that got released on platforms that weren't Nintendo platforms, or just like even questionable Mario releases in general. Let's see. A big one that comes to mind really easily, it's probably not as well known though, is that, what is it called? Mario Teaches Preschool or whatever, that game. If you don't know what it is, I recommend looking it up. It's some game that's meant for kids though, and it tries to be educational, but it ends up just being kind of weird and creepy and not very likable. Like, I think any kid who liked Mario who ended up playing this would immediately want to shut the game off. It's just really fucking weird. I don't like it any. I don't know. It's hard to describe the game. It's like a bunch of really crappy educational mini games, basically. It's not really noteworthy like some of the other Mario releases on other platforms. I gotta say that Mario Teaches Typing was like one of the ones I remember pretty fondly. I didn't hate it. I ended up actually finding it to be pretty fun. Even though I think the levels were kind of difficult, it was just like a neat little educational tool, and it actually had decent enough gameplay for what it was. It wasn't anything stellar since it's a typing tool to teach kids how to type, but I mean, it did the job. It's a little odd to me they decided to make two of them, though. I mean, you'd think one of them would be enough for the purpose, not two whole typing games, but whatever. Okay, now that we talked about those, let's get into some of the more terrible Mario games that were released, though. Let's see, which one do I want to talk about first? If I can remember what I'm thinking of. The easy one to bring up is Hotel Mario, and it's not even that bad. I was gonna say, oh, actually, now I remember what I was gonna say. I'll get back to those in a minute, though, but Hotel Mario was something. The CDI game and the whole cutscenes, it was stupid, but it didn't look like it had the worst gameplay. It looked like it was alright, and I liked the cutscenes in it. Like, if nothing else, the game lived up to have, like, a decent... It used for, like, YouTube poops and just making dumb clips. Just, like, using it for stuff like that. It's funny how the CDI games are all like just really stupid memey stuff that are really funny. They're like not good, but they're all like still worthwhile for that purpose, but they're pretty bad for actually playing from what I understand. I would like to actually play it sometime. I think if there's like any CDI game that like was on the Philips CDI, have like the Nintendo stuff like that actually deserves to get remade. Maybe Hotel Mario could actually be salvageable, but the others not so much. Oh yeah, those were fucking bad. The 3 Zelda games on the CDI, especially the one that nobody talks about though. That game is like really particularly bad because it's just like it's got like a weird like art style to it. It kind of looks like FMV, but not really, and it's like it looks sort of realistic. It's hard to describe it, but like the gameplay is described to be like really boring and unfun. And it's like the story is out there, doesn't make much sense, and like it just leaves you wandering. And from what I've heard, it's like not even worth the gameplay. I think it's called like the Force of Light or something. I don't remember what the title is. I have to look it up to see what it was called. It's really bad though. It's not really even worth bringing up at like talking. It's just a bad Zelda game, and like it's not even bad for any entertainment value. I think that's the only Zelda game I can think of that I could actually classify as bad too, which is saying something. The other two they're bad games, but their cutscenes are pretty good, honestly. I've got to see the Faces of Evil is pretty good for the cutscenes alone. Same with Wand of Gamelon. Who could forget the dumb lines like fucking no, not into the pit, it burns! Or the fucking gee, it sure is boring around here. They made the lines like stupid, but like really fucking funny. I get the games mixed up because like they're very, very similar, but they're both really, really, and they're both bad games. I've got some really genuinely funny cutscenes though. I like how one of them is just fucking Zelda killing a boss, and at the end of it, he's like, "You killed me," and then Zelda's just like, "Good." It's like, okay, that's kind of creepy. Like, what the actual fuck were they thinking when they wrote this? Like, even for like I don't know, like even when you look at it as like them killing them in the name of a greater good, it's like, what the fuck? This line is still completely disturbing. Like, what the hell? Oh god, where the fucking whatever it was, I don't know, there's like a panther monster or some shit. Fucking and transforms mid quote. Fucking going like, whatever I see, I must devour. And then his fucking face turns into like these giant lips, and he's like eating a rat or some shit. It's really weird to watch. The clips are funny, but they're really dumb too. Like I said, they're both overall decent for the cutscenes, but they're terrible games from what I understand. The third game is garbage because the third game has like no redeeming qualities apparently. The other two have like really good cutscenes in them though. Oh goodness. I've thought about like buying like a old bootleg console or like a old console like a CDI for like a stream just to mess around one day. Maybe I will, probably not. If I do explore those games, then you'll probably be on emulator. That could be fun, just messing around. I've heard the Zelda games are an absolute terrible waste of time though, because the gameplay is fucking infuriating. Like they're like ridiculously hard. CDI was a strange console. Like there's a lot of noteworthy things on it, but not for good reasons. Another like really memey release on the CDI you can bring up is like I Am Mean. It seems to be like a story game. I'm not really sure, but it's some like two kids getting trapped or something. I don't remember what the gameplay is. I think you're like escaping a maze or some shit, and the cutscenes are pretty good. I don't know how the gameplay is. It doesn't look like it's amazing though, but it has like the same style of cutscenes as how the Zelda games and also Hotel Mario do. Got like that same exact art style. It looks like it might be like one of the few decent experiences on the system. It's funny, I don't think I could say that about any other games, because I can't name one CDI game I've heard of that actually has a good reputation to it. Most of the CDI games are revered for being complete garbage. Let me see. I didn't... Reason... Tax? Grandma. Huh. Burn Cycle on CDI? That's oh, you like... Burn Cycle on CDI. I haven't actually played that. There's some... I've heard there's like some decent stuff, but I've never really played CDI, so I wouldn't know. Apparently, like... I don't know how many of these like games there are that are made by like apparently like the same company that's like makes the first party stuff for the CDI, but there was like another game in their art style that was like leaked not too long ago. Like there was apparently like some Warcraft game being made on CDI, and I remember like watching a bit of it on a stream. I think I was like watching Vinesaw stream, and he was doing like the entire game, and like it was completely awful. Holy shit! I'm not surprised that it's actually like a game that got canceled midway through because it looked really bad. It was just like that like uninteresting cutscenes and like the story. I don't remember anything about the storylines. It was boring as all fuck. Could probably look it up and find it if you want to just find it. It's just called, I think it's like Warcraft CDI, something like that. I don't know what the name of it actually is, but it shouldn't be too difficult to track it down. Let me see. What about rare and not totally rare? Those rare and... Huh. I didn't know that. I don't even know if you told me that or not. I mean, I'd like to collect games and game consoles, but they can get really expensive, so I haven't bothered with anything like that. Could probably get another one of those mini consoles at some point if I feel like it. That might be worth the investment. Let me see. God damn, these Kadabra spawn like fucking almost never. I'm just sitting here waiting. And for the record, if anybody's curious, I can't go and catch other stuff because it's like this particular spawn is like 1%. There's a rare spawn that happens in every area, and there's also these 1% spawns. The rare spawns will always show up, but the 1% spawns only show up very easily if you chain them. I have to leave everything alone until it shows up again. It's barely popping up in the area. Favorite consoles? PC Engine? Is all the I've never heard of PC Engine. Actually, I think I have heard of PC Engine, but I've never really known too much about it. Interesting. I do like looking up and hearing about like interesting like old consoles, though. It's fun to like read up on them. Yeah, the Kadabra thing is annoying. I have to sit here and wait on it to fucking show up. It's got that low spawn percent, and I can't force it to come out any earlier. I think chaining something might cause it to show up, but it wouldn't really matter because I need to get at least a chain of 2 before they'll start really showing up again. You might ask why I'm not doing, like, Abra instead of Kadabra, actually, and the reason is really, really simple. Actually, I need to check my number here, but yeah. So, Abra has this little quirk to it, if you haven't noticed, as I've been, like, going out here when you're passing it, like, every time you go into an Abra's peripheral vision, it will teleport away on the spot. It is legitimately one of the most unwieldy Pokemon to shiny hunt, so I've steered clear of shiny hunting at first, even though I need one, because I have to, like, get a replacement one. I actually have, like, a shiny Dex entry for it, but I want to get a living Dex, like I said, and I need a new one. So I'm trying to avoid getting more than I have to. You have to sneak up on the little shits every time you want to catch one, so I'm doing Kadabra because it's not afraid of me and fucking not running away every 2 seconds, so I can actually approach It's Kadabra. Meanwhile, Abra will just fucking immediately get the fuck out if it spots me. Yeah, it's similar. I mean, there's not a battle system in this, but I mean, if you get spotted by an Abra and you're trying to approach it, it's going to fucking teleport and you won't see it again until another one pops up. And I don't want to deal with that with the shiny, so if I was to go through that, I only want to have to try to capture one single Abra and not two of them. I wish I could just do 2 Kadabra, but I mean, that wouldn't work considering I still need Abra and there's no way to de-evolve. Ugh. Let me see. Like, bonk. Or... Wait, for what? Yeah, for T-Games this year in Game Boy? PC Engine. Interesting. Never heard about that before. Oh my god, this is gonna take a while. I've had them, like, try and waiting on this for a while. I was saying, actually, I got a little bit distracted. Hold on a second. No, not devolve. Devolve as in evolve, except it's supposed to go back a step, which isn't even possible in Pokemon. That's a thing in other things. Like, that's technically a thing in Digimon, since they evolved and they went backwards into their original state after they were done, like that. That's what I'm saying, to devolve. Of course, they couldn't devolve because that's not a thing in Pokemon. It never has been. I know there's been like a weird D-level thing in like Mystery Dungeon, but I don't think it's like very prominent. I've only seen like a D-level happen once, and once you kill another Pokemon, I think you like immediately gain the level back. That'd be an interesting mechanic, actually. It'd be helpful, but I don't know if it'd be that useful. Use it to get moves back that you missed, have your Pokemon and go back a few levels. Really? This is what I feared about this, is I'm gonna be stuck sitting here doing this crap and waiting God knows how long on Kadabras to show up, because even though I could do Abra, I still don't want to weigh the risks of teleporting away versus getting a huge chain of Kadabra and just getting a shiny to pop up once they're common enough. Problem is, like, catching up to 100 of them so I can actually get the easy catching. Yeah, I'll be honest. Wish I'd been doing, like, Let's Go or in Sword and Shield, but if you're doing it in Let's Go, I find it personally easier to just do Gastly or Haunter through, like, an already existing chain. Because there's the thing about the cemetery over in Lavender Town, the primary spawn that shows up is Gastly and Haunter. Sure, there's Chansey and Cubone that can take the spawn up, but you will see more Gastly and Haunter than you will Cubone and... Yeah, seeing Cubone and Chansey, like, there might be a Chansey that spawns first, but you just wait it out and tough it out. Yeah, I know how you feel. I didn't really chain them, because I feel like it's not really one of those Pokemon where you're better off chaining it. Like I said, you can get it just as easy from and using an already started chain. That's what I was going to do, is use that for my secondary target. Once I was done with, like, these first 2 Pokemon, I was going to break my... or not really... break my chain on a shiny, excuse me, I was trying to think what I was saying there. Yeah, use that to break my chain on either a Gastly or Haunter spawn. It doesn't matter which, because I just need one to evolve into a Gengar now. I would be doing like 4 shinies, but I would rather just fucking immediately delve into the next one once I get one of these, whether it be Kadabra or Abra, because it's going to take a while, and I don't want to fucking exhaust it much longer, and I've already, like, took out a lot of targets that I could use for secondary targets now, so it's just like some of these are just going to be not done with one. By the way, have you guys ever, like, seen any of the footage of, like, the legendaries that show up shiny in the overworld? It's, like, incredibly rare, but, like, holy shit, it must be a fucking experience to have, like, a fucking Zapdos, Articuno, or Moltres pop up on your screen and be shiny just out of nowhere. They have literally, like, the same base odds as a shiny Pokemon and popping up on screen in the first place, and then you have to worry about shiny chance getting factored in. If you get lucky enough to have like a shiny Zapdos, say, pop up on your screen, you'd have to fucking basically be lucky enough to win the fucking lottery, for God's sake. Yeah, they're rare. I wouldn't catch one over a shiny because shinies are harder to obtain, but like, holy shit, it must be something insane to have a fucking shiny legendary just pop up like that. That is amazing. There's only like so many reports of it. Like, I looked it up, and like, most recent one was some guy who just randomly stumbled onto a fucking Moltres popping up on his screen while he was like, I think he was catching Pokemon, not even chaining. It just showed up out of nowhere, and like the park area, not Go Park, but like that area where like all those Pokemon show up and the trainers had their Pokemon out with them, that area. I still remember like I think like the first report, it was like some guy who had like a Zapdos on his screen, and he didn't realize it was shiny and ended up like shiny failing it, and everybody in his chat was like screaming at him to go catch it. I would not want to be in that scenario. I'm pretty sure I could tell it apart, but like, imagine being that guy who had a fucking shiny fail on a Zapdos that has like a fucking 1 in a million chance of popping up on your screen. It would be fucking embarrassing trying to live that down. It's like you either fucking reset your game if that happens to you and go back and do a cave spawn, or you try to replicate it in the wild. Like, that, you have to fucking reclaim that if it happens to you. You can't just let that fucking slide. There is no way you should be willing to let it go. But yeah, ouch. Ooh. Yeah, I feel a little bad for the guy, but still. Let me see really quick. Did you see him in 64? In 3D games? Wait, what's going on? Did I miss a message somewhere? Oh, did you post a message that I can't see? Because I see your message about GCN versus 64, but there's a god of 3D games. I don't know if you had like a preceding message or not, because I don't see anything else. Might have to retype it. God, games have came a long way. Fucking going all the way from that, what was it called? Magnavox Odyssey. We were talking about obscure consoles. That thing was... It's even hard to call that a console, but like, I remember that in the AVGN video, like, gave you stuff you put on your screen and like, used like marker on it to like play games on it. Like, it's... If that's even qualify as able as a video game console, it's got to be like the absolute bare minimum for a game console, because it's like all you're using is like some little activity thing they give you, not actually a properly programmed game. Like, we came a long way from that to 8-bit, and then all the way up to fucking 3D and HD games like we've got now. Like, gaming has really developed a long way. Holy shit. I can just imagine what it would be like if you took a Switch and like, if time travel was possible, and like fucking brought this back to somebody in like the NES days and showed them the Switch like along the dock. Like, this would probably blow somebody's mind to see a fucking hybrid console like this back in that day. I think it's such a simplistic like thing, the way they did it with the whole dock just like displaying the video. It's a lot simpler than it seemed like it would have been. Too bad the controls and the Joy-Cons kind of suck, since they're so susceptible to Joy-Con drift. I swear, out of all of my controllers I have used, I have never seen a controller worse than the Joy-Con. Fucking takes like 3 months for them to go bad, and then you're stuck with the stick drift. It might just be me, but like in general, I feel like I've read more about like issues popping up with the Switch than I have any other Nintendo console. Like, not even just the Joy-Con drift. There were like originally points of people like claiming their Switches were like melting when it came out from like docking issues, and like there was also the whole thing about Joy-Cons having like a wireless interference that got fixed with like sounded like there were like a ton of problems straight out the door. Whereas every other Nintendo controller I've owned, I don't think I've had that kind of problem. At least not until late in the system's lifetime. By the way, since you mentioned the PS5 controller earlier, Wayne, actually, I don't know how to really feel about it. It looks nice, but I've never really owned a proper PlayStation home console. I think I played a few games on like a friend's PlayStation back in the day, but my memories of like playing anything PlayStation are really limited. I always remember like being a little confused because like the button layout being totally different from what your ordinary controller is was like always really strange to me and a little hard to grasp like the whole, see if I can remember the buttons correctly. Square, circle, triangle, X. Yeah, that was always like my brain just never really fully grasped the difference. Probably because I didn't ever use it very much, so I didn't ever have a chance to really sit down and like learn it. But like, it's like learning a completely different button scheme, and it felt so foreign and weird. Something about like learning the ABXY button placement. I guess because of the familiarity, it just made it easier to pick up and figure out. But regardless of what controller, like, it's pretty simple to get the change, like, and understand exactly what I was trying to do. Albeit, Xbox controller still messed me a little bit because the B and the A being swapped around it just messes with my brain a little bit. Actually, since we bothered to bring up controllers in the first place, what would you guys say are like your absolute favorite controllers of all time and your least favorite controllers of all time? I'm not actually sure on both of these accounts. I've got to say Switch Pro Controller is definitely a heavy contender for best controller, though. Actually, before I say anything else. Is chat working? There haven't been messages in a while. My chat has a tendency to glitch. Okay, no, it seems okay. I like the GameCube controller a lot. I agree with the general consensus. It's pretty good. I used to really enjoy, like, the Wii U gamepad, but after using the Switch, I'd kind of gotten to this, like, point where I don't really enjoy using it anymore, and it's like, I kind of like having a lighter controller again, and it's like, I go back and notice, and it's like, an immediate difference. It's like, yeah, I don't know how I adapted to this thing. It's not bad, but it's not really anything special. I don't know why I was so accepting of it. I still found it to be good enough for getting the job done. It was alright when I used it. Like, I found it to be fun for a lot of games, but it's not a great controller looking back at it. Switch Pro. You a controller? Yeah, I'm surprised you owned a new yet. I don't think a lot of people bought it since it kind of like is dead on arrival. That thing sold really poorly. I've never seen a console the guy hyped up so much and then immediately fucking flopped upon release. I think it's because the fact that a console is basically free to play and just like nothing else was just a really bad concept in general. Like, that really shouldn't have a lot of bearing on the games on the console, and yet they insisted on this whole free to play thing. You were excited when they announced it? Huh. I mean, I just found it to be an odd concept. I thought about picking one up, but I never bothered. I mean, I'm kind of glad that it ended up flopping. It didn't sound like it was worth it in the end. And I was excited when they announced it. Yeah, Switch Pro is probably my favorite. I couldn't say for certain. I don't know exactly what my least favorite is immediately. But I've got to say, I think one of like the easiest contenders for least favorite is the N64 controller. I'd tolerate it during the time. I mean, I kind of had to, but also there are a number of things wrong with that controller. Like, you just look at the design, for example, Where the fuck did they expect you to put your hands at? I think I ended up just, like, basically fucking gripping the middle of it, like... The N64 controller was such a bizarre design. Like, what were they thinking when they made it? The whole three-pronged look was weird, and the buttons were kind of odd, too. Not really bad, just a little odd accessing, like, say, the Z button. And then the fucking big, easy point of contention is the fucking control pad, though. Control pad was legitimately the shittiest part of the N64 controller. Like, I don't know, or not control pad, see the analog stick, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know anybody who likes the fucking analog stick on the N64. Especially since there were quite a few games that encourage you to fucking spin it, and one of those being Mario Party fucking grinds into your goddamn hand and blisters it. Like, one of my brother fucking got a blister from... and trying to, like, beat mini games in Mario Party 1 with that thing. That was a shit controller. I'm trying to think, there were some others too, but I don't remember what they were, but like... The fucking analog stick did not fucking do itself any favors. I remember, for like getting it got worn down, like ours had like a problem where the controller stick was so fucking worn down that it was like really goddamn sharp and like it is not really usable. It was like too painful to try and touch the damn control stick. I think we just stopped using it altogether, but it was like a really shoddy controller. The N64 controller was kind of a piece of shit, to be honest. Like, looking back at it, I think out of like all Nintendo's controllers, even with the Joy-Con problems, I'd still openly accept the Joy-Cons faster than I would the N64 controller. I think the N64 controller may be the worst controller Nintendo's ever made. Got buried faster? Yeah, I'm still struggle with Smash stuff. I need to, like, practice. Like, I need to, like, teach myself how to fucking... What's the right word for it? I don't remember what they call it. It's DI? Yeah, DI out of grabs and bury. I suck at that. I don't really know the best way to do that. I play Smash a lot, but I also fuck up on some of the basic stuff. Speaking of Smash, like, in general, like, as we're talking about N64, I've gotta say, like, as much as I enjoyed it back in the day, I cannot go back to fucking Smash 64 for the life of me. Like, holy shit, it does not play very good anymore. Like, back in the day, I guess we just tolerated it as kids, and it was kind of fun, but, like... That game aged like such ass. Like, holy shit, it controls really badly. Like, it's no wonder I got so much time out of Melee when I got it when I was younger. I must have, like, immediately noticed the responsiveness of the controls. Although it's weird how the controls didn't really bother me as a kid in Smash 64. I think it's just like the stuff like the voicing and like overall the gameplay was a dumb and fun enough concept that it worked out, that attracted all the attention it did. Without that, Smash 64 may have not took off like it did. Still a good game, just doesn't happen to be anywhere near as fun to play nowadays. Like, if anybody tried to get me to sit down for a round of Smash 64, I'd probably be quick to just say fuck no, because I prefer any of the other games that are actually more developed. I'm curious, what do you guys think the best Smash game is? I'm definitely going to say Ultimate, and it's not just because of the fact that the new game is always the best, and I don't even agree with that. Like, that's something some people seem to say, like, they'll always parrot it, but Brawl, it's happened to every game, Melee, Brawl, 4, and Ultimate. I didn't find Ultimate, or it's not, I didn't find 4 very good at all, though. I genuinely hated Smash 4. Melee was fun. I mean, I'm not talking about, like, all of them, really. Melee, the biggest gripe I think I had with Melee was gameplay got a little bit on the stale side because, like, a good chunk of the cast was, like, composed of clones, so it just ended up, like, being eh. Also, the fucking unlock condition for Mewtwo is legitimately the stupidest shit. Like, I don't know why they thought people would want to put in, like, fucking... like 700 matches or 70, was it 70 hours? Maybe it was 20 hours or something, I don't remember, but you had to like do like something like that to unlock Mewtwo, and it's like, it took fucking forever to unlock him no matter which method you used. Like, I ended up like playing it and getting all the characters but Mewtwo and Game & Watch, and I didn't even know if I had them all because I never unlocked Mewtwo. Then me and my brother got him one day, it was just like, wait, holy shit, there's other character we didn't even know about, and after beating Break the Targets, Mr. Game & Watch showed up and was like, wow, there were 2 fucking characters we never found out about because they're gated by some really dumb requirement. Melee was fun though, like, Melee did a lot of things right, especially the controls, and also it brought event matches into Smash, which event matches were like legitimately the absolute, or actually not the, but like one of the best features Smash has added. It's just a great little fun way to waste time with some little single player stuff. I enjoyed those a lot. Enjoy them in pretty much every game, although I don't think I found 4s as good, but they were still alright. See, what else about 4 was good? Or not 4, what about Melee was good, I mean to say. Oh, Break the Targets, before I forget. I mean, both 64 and also Melee had it, but Melee was the last time we got a proper, unique Break the Targets, and then they sort of changed it from Brawl onwards. I miss the old Break the Targets a lot, and having like custom designed stages for each character. I know it's a lot of work, but it would have been nice to have them around still. Break the Targets is like a really fun distraction. I was like really devastated when they changed it in Brawl to be like 5 different Break the Targets at stages. It's better than nothing, but it would have been better having like each one have a unique one. I hope they bring it back in Ultimate, but having like an 80 character or Break the Target would be difficult. That was like legitimately the best game mode that's been cut out of Smash Bros. I think a lot of people would agree. Like, that was legitimately fun, and I think a lot of people miss Break the Targets. Let's see. There's Home Run Contest. Come to think of it, didn't like the trophy catch mode only like really exist in Melee and Brawl? I think it was in Brawl. I may be mistaken about that. Like, that was a weird game mode. It was fun enough to play, but it didn't really have a very long-lived reputation. It just kind of stuck around for like a game or two and was gone. Also, it was still really weird to me how they fucking modeled like stages where you're basically playing on a fucking giant trophy. It was just really bizarre, and then when you win, you get the trophy. I don't even know, like, I have to wonder why they made these trophy stages and they only use them for like these specific purposes. Let's see. There's also All-Star. All-Star was really good. That was a fun thing. It's a staple of Smash, so I gotta say that was good. Melee's not my favorite. I'm just listing all the things I can remember that are like noteworthy about All-Stars. All-Stars and all that Melee. Let's see. I think that's probably about it. There's a few things like Adventure Mode, but that's mostly everything about Melee. Melee had like a lot of good stuff that it brought in. It wasn't my favorite, but it was really good. I gotta agree with you though, Brawl's really good. A lot of people shit on Brawl, and I feel like Brawl gets like way more hate than it deserves. Like, not only did it bring in third-party fighters, like, they did their best to make like every character in Brawl feel unique, where to the extent only one character was really a clone, if you can even call it that, and it was Toon Link. Like, they did a really good job with it. I also liked how it controlled, even though it was a little bit slow. The online kind of sucked, because the online was like a really slow, laggy mess, and I found that to be really, really unfun to work around, so it was mostly me playing online with friends when I did. Let's see. Oh, we can't forget the best part about Brawl. Fucking Subspace Emissary. That story mode is legitimately fucking awesome. I enjoyed Subspace so much. That was a good story. I gotta say, like, I feel like I kind of disappointed when I look at Ultimate and see, like, you know, not Ultimate itself, but I'm disappointed with how World of Light is. Like, it's like what it could have been. It had like this amazing, really good story mode in Brawl, and they brought story back for Ultimate, and feels kind of half-assed compared to the Brawl one. Like, it's not bad. Like, I feel like the gameplay actually might be a little better in some areas, like its actual Smash matches, because like the Subspace had like the biggest problem of like some of the platforming is really janky to play through, even though it's really good and really fun. But it was overall a lot better than World of Light, in my opinion. Especially the cutscenes. That was like the coolest thing, seeing all these characters interact with each other in the cutscenes. We've never had another point where like all these different Nintendo characters have like interacted in these ways like this, and we probably never will get another time like that. Like they did like 5 or something cutscenes for World of Light and Ultimate. Like it's like barely anything. Like that's kind of a disappointment, honestly. I might have been willing to forgive World of Light if it had more cutscenes too, honestly. Yeah, the music in World of Light was pretty good at least. I don't know, I can't give World of Light even a fraction of love the way I do Subspace. If I was going to rate the two stories, Subspace is easily the stronger campaign. Still gutted when there was like no story at all, and in Smash 4, like Sakurai's excuse came off as like really stupid, like complaining about how people leak the cutscenes. It's like, really, who gives a shit? It's not really that big of a deal in the first place. Let's see, what else actually? I will say, like, I would actually hope we get more DLC than just character DLC for Ultimate, even though I don't think we're going to. I get the impression we're really going to have the end of it once the character expansions are over, but I would be extremely fine with getting, like, a new story mode campaign that adds on to the World of Light, or a new separated campaign, like a DLC campaign would be cool. I'd be happy to get that. Or even just, like, a new set of DLC for, like, say, new game modes or new maps. Like, even getting, like, 10 new stages or something would be good. Just getting some stuff. I'm sure the stages take them less time than a fighter, so that would be probably doable. It's not like they have to, like, link them to characters either. Like, they have a hand and bow, and obviously there's no fucking dang Electroplankton reppin' Smash. Let's see. Yeah, there could easily be more DLC, and I'd be happy to support more. It'd probably be worth it, I'm sure. There's a lot of good stuff they could do with Ultimate. Outside of just the characters, I mean. Hope that Sakurai didn't really plan for her home run contest to be the last thing, or he changes his mind about it, but I mean, who knows? Yeah, Smash has a really damn good soundtrack. I don't like 4s as much because it was basically just like a bunch of tracks and like no differences, but I'd liked how both Brawl and Ultimate like remixed the music quite a bit. Let's see, what else can I talk about really quick? I'm trying to think on Brawl. The biggest thing is, like, as already pointed out, like, they did Subspace. I think it mostly just capitalized on what a lot of what made Melee great, so it's kind of easy to lump all that in together because it really was like a good thing. I gotta say, I know there's like a pretty big split on how people feel about Final Smashes, and frankly, I feel like Final Smashes are fine, and that Brawl did a good thing by adding them to the game. It wasn't really a big deal. If you don't, I'm not fucking taking your shitty, shiny Pidgeotto. I've got the entire Pidgey line. I don't want another one. Thank you. Let's go in here. But yeah, or was I? I got distracted. I talked about the music already. Shit, give me a second. I'm trying to, like, remember what I was talking about. I think I mentioned the online already. I was gonna say that, yeah, the online really laggy mess that I didn't enjoy too much unless it was with friends. But also, there was one thing that was, oh yeah, the Final Smashes. I'll get back to that in a second, though. Like, another thing that bothered me about Brawl, the fucking tripping. It wasn't like a big problem, but it was really a dumb gameplay change that just screwed the gameplay. It seemed like just a really dumb, malicious change Sakurai made just to screw with melee players, and it was honestly just not a very good move. Like, they shouldn't have bothered doing that. Hold on a sec, I'm gonna go ahead and link this, even though I should have already linked it in Discord, but I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway, just for the sake of anybody who wants to come and watch. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, the meta for Brawl was kind of not the best. Like how, say, Meta Knight fucking dominated everything. Ike was also kind of broken. Like, the meta was like, ick. I played Almar, but it wasn't because I enjoyed how tough he was and how strong he was in Melee. It was, or not Melee, in Brawl. It was mainly that I liked Pikmin as a series, and I wanted to play as Almar, so I played him. And that's some real shit I had to deal with when I was playing as Almar, though. People would fucking, like, somebody actually fucking challenged me to a fucking match and tried to make, fucking get me to play with that fucking using Pikmin as Almar to fucking beat them, and they fucking took them up on it and ended up, like, beating them pretty badly, and then fucking only pulling out Pikmin to, like, pull off finishing attacks. It didn't take much for that person to shut the fuck up and then admit that they were talking shit because Pikmin... It was the most legitimately fucking retarded argument I've ever heard. I hate to be that guy, and I'm sorry if I use the word retarded defends anybody, but, like, this is just really stupid to hear in general. This guy was, like, claiming Pikmin were items. It was really fucking dumb. Like, this is like, are you shitting me, really? You're gonna make a fucking stupid argument like this? Ended up beating him, and then after that, he admitted he was salty pretty quickly, and that he was just talking shit. It's like, no. I use the Pikmin because they're literally the form of attacks I have. It's not got anything to do with a bullshit excuse like that. Yeah, the 6 Pikmin thing was, like, really broken. Yeah, that's pretty much my reaction, even though I don't think I ever said that, but, like, it's like, that you can't be seriously saying something that goddamn stupid. Like, are you serious? It's like, how can you even then suggest that that's, it's an item, but whatever. It was, like, years ago, like, at least 10 or more years ago, I think. So... that's whatever. People say dumb shit. Don't hold a grudge, but I found that really stupid and really funny, and I still remember it. Oh, man. Good memories, good memories. I enjoyed playing Brawl quite a bit. I was pretty good at Brawl, too. I remember winning a lot of matches. The only times I really struggled was usually when I was ending up at somebody who was, like, fucking really laggy, because... like one guy who fucking challenged me was, like, talking... total shit, and the only reason he was winning a match because the match was like fucking so laggy that everything was like several seconds behind, and he was able to like read literally all of my fucking moves because of the lag, and it's like constantly dodging over them. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking humor this match, and I'm not gonna fucking continue it. Like, you can't legitimately tell me you're fucking winning when you're fucking and using this much goddamn lag and telling me that the lag doesn't make a goddamn difference in the game. Like, that's so fucking broken that if you're able to read my moves because of the lag, like, no, that's not even fucking playable. That shouldn't be acceptable as a fucking excuse for a match. Yeah, oh shit, I just despawned it, but I think I should be getting more. I think they spawn at like 11. And at least that's not the shiny. I say I want to fucking get another Kadabra. I don't want to be waiting. Yeah, Brawl was good. It was fun. It was, like, really good. Sometimes the lag, even though it was, like, really unbearable, like, there were some points where the lag had made the most fucking hilariously stupid bullshit to watch. Oh, wait, goddammit, I accidentally went too close to the door. I was trying to, like, curve my walking, whatever. Yeah. One of my favorite things I remember seeing from Brawl was, like the hacking scene. Not only were there, like, good hacks that were out there, but, like, there was also, like, some stuff that was, like, done via the hacks. It was just, like, really fucking hilarious. If you played back in the day, I'm sure you remember people who would do like fucking moveset swaps and Brawl. And that had the most amazingly fucking weird shit. That was like incredible to fucking watch. And I remember like watching some of this and like messing around with it on my own. I remember like exactly like what it was. Like one of them, I remember, was like fucking Tomb Link. I think they like superimposed like Mario's moveset on him or something. And he's like, it looked like a fucking crab and his legs were like all fucking elongated. It was like weird as shit to watch. I think it's still possible in like future Smash games, but it seemed like it was a lot easier in Brawl and it was really entertaining to watch. Yes, oh my god, there's some fucking hilarious and amazing fucking moveset swaps. Oh my god, that made like that just made my day fucking watching some of that and like toying around with some of that shit. There was some really good shit. I've never really used like the hacking stuff in Brawl for anything malicious. Whenever I did, it was just that I would like go screw around with my friends once so I had like, I asked them if they were okay with me using hacks to like mess around in the match, or if I wanted to do like a custom stage, I'd like try to ask people beforehand and then like do it. And like the only problem with the custom stage is it was like a 50-50 chance of you being actually able to get like a stage from the editor when you were using the cheats. Also, the fucking whole idea of doing like the fucking 2 final smashes or more at once was fucking great. Even though part of the time it fucking crashed the game. It was just amazing watching the weird shit, especially Luigi's fucking original final smash, which is fucking weird as shit. Like, what the fuck was Sakurai thinking when he made that final smash? That negative zone shit was weird as fuck. I don't know. Just like, what the hell? Some of the old Final Smashes made no fucking sense whatsoever. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think, like, what were some of the really dumb ones? Kind of hard to, like, remember them. I still find it funny how fucking Fox X Falco and Wolf shared the same Final Smash. I think they still have it now. Yeah, Brawl was a weird game, but it's also really fun. I liked it a lot. I don't agree with the hate for it. Hard to name some of my, like, other more unique parts that I remember as, like, really fun, like, favorite moments, but I think, like, just, like, the hacking scene partially made it as fun as it is. It was really a goddamn gem of a game. I enjoyed it so much. Oh, gosh. I wouldn't trade my memories of Brawl for anything. That game was too much fun. I already streamed it and like played through all Subspace Emissary, but I would totally be down to stream Brawl again and do like cheats on, and let's see, what was it? Cheats on Dolphin and have it set up where I can do like the moveset swaps and just like mess around with it and fuck around and see what I could do for some fun. Yeah, I'd streamed the story like before Ultimate came out for like preparation for World of Light, and I had a pretty fun time replaying it. Made my experience in World of Light feel a lot less fun by comparison to. Basically just emulated it because I had older consoles, but I don't really want to dig them out. Most of them are at my parents' place. Yeah, it's alright, it doesn't matter. I mean, I probably still have them up, I'm not sure. I should really get around to fucking, like, optimizing and, like, putting up some playlists and stuff on the channel later. Just appreciate people hanging out and watching the streams. I have a lot of fun streaming, honestly. I don't think I played too many of the mods, if I even played any of them. I don't remember if I've installed any or not. I don't think I ever did, actually. I thought about installing Project M, though. I remember, like, I also did some hacks for some other Wii games. I don't remember, like, exactly what they were. There weren't too many. And a lot thing about the Wii hacking scene, like, I tried to use hacks on Mario Kart for, like, messing around, and, like, every time I tried to load the Ocarina stuff with, like Mario Kart Wii, it would crash on me and never worked. I don't know why. I couldn't get it to load properly. Really annoying, but I mean, it's whatever, I guess. see, what else is there that I played with it? I just want to try and remember. I remember I installed like a bunch of shit with Homebrew, and like I didn't install like WADs at any point. I don't think. I might have installed like a few of them, like for stuff that you couldn't get on the Wii normally. But I didn't use it for any piracy shit like some people did. I think I installed like some of the custom games you could get out of Homebrew though. Let's see. I don't remember. I know I played it with like other games though. Shit. I wish I could remember. I'm certain there's others. If they come to me, I'll say it. I may have like toyed with Galaxy stuff, but I don't remember that. Actually, I might have got it to work on Mario Kart, but not very much, because I think I remembered... Well, actually, I'm not certain. I think I played one of the old events that was already gone that way, because I wanted to play it, but I'm not actually... I'd have to check. God, the hack it, like the Homebrew days on Wii were really fun to mess around with. Yeah, I remember modding mine. Back in the day, using the old fucking Twilight hack. That was a hell of a memory, honestly. Well, that's good. They're spawning more frequently now. Let's see. Okay, we'll go back to our Smash discussion for the moment. If I think of anything else to talk about, I'll bring it up. I would talk about, like, using, like, cheats and stuff in, like, other games. I'll wait a little bit for that. Like, I remember having some fun times using Action Replay on GameCube, for instance. Let's see, though. Smash 4. Oh, this is going to be a fun one to talk about. I did not enjoy Smash 4 too much. I've got to be honest, Smash 4 made a change that I didn't like to the series too much. Like, you can try to blame Brawl for it all you want, but like the whole thing about fucking recovery being changed to be like stupid easy in Smash 4 feels really wrong, and like it doesn't feel fun to deal with at all. Like it's annoying, and like killing people in Smash 4 with like a smash attack is like a lot harder. You practically were required to like jump off the stage and meteor smash somebody to fucking ensure that they die on you. It was just really, really gameplay, and it played kind of poorly, and it was really infuriating and unfun to play. It just didn't feel fluid and great, and I found it hard to believe people like enjoyed the gameplay more than they did in Brawl. Like, it didn't feel any better in my opinion. I mean, whatever. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. They're another game and Game Watch isn't hated. And Ultimate, yeah, I've heard a lot of hate about him. I don't feel like he's that bad of a character. He's not used too often. I'll say he's really annoying to fight, though. Like, the spammy Game & Watch can be really fucking annoying to try and go against. And if I can give it, like, one thing I really don't like about the character in general, it's a small complaint. I hate how his oil spill attack has, like, fucking triple the damage of whatever attack he reflects. Like, no other reflector that I can think of in the game has that much power to it when it reflects an attack, and yet the oil spill fucking is enough to basically kill you at like 40 or 50% half the time. Like, it's got a ridiculous power compared to like all the other reflectors. Also, the fucking sausage spam is really goddamn annoying to deal with too. Yeah, like, he's fucking annoying that he did put up with. I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. He's really goddamn irritating when you have to deal with, like, a proficient Game & Watch. It's one of those characters that does a good job of annoying you, but if I'm being honest, I would rather fight a good Game & Watch any day over a fucking good Jigglypuff. The guys who fucking jump up in the air the entire time trying to hit you with aerial and always goddamn spam sing and rest on you. Also, I might be wrong about this, and just it's like it might just be me, and like might be a bit of a confirmation bias here, but I legitimately feel like they buffed Sing's things like radius, and it's really irritating. Like, I remember in other games, I would like go after Jigglypuff, and I could avoid Sing without too much trouble. But then, like, You try to get anywhere near Jigglypuff while it's using Sing without having a ranged attack. You get fucking put to sleep by Sing, and I hate that. That attack did not need a buff. It makes him extremely obnoxious, and I guess they buffed Jigglypuff in general because the attacks feel like they kill a lot easier. Like, I don't know, it feels like, most of the time when I die from that shit, it feels like it's undeserved, but it's not really a big deal. Like, I feel like it's already powerful enough. The fucking huge range was unnecessary, but whatever. And you know when you run into a fucking Jigglypuff player, they're gonna fucking teabag you. They all share that same mentality for some reason. Ugh. I would be happy to never run into a fucking Jigglypuff player ever again, honestly. Is real? Yeah, I don't know. I remember playing a lot of Jigglypuff players before Smash 4 and Ultimate, and it's mostly an Ultimate, really. Also, since I was talking about 4 and I didn't finish yet, I don't remember the event matches being very good. They took out story mode. There's another thing I didn't like about it. There were very few things I did like. The one thing that was like good about it was it brought like a lot of third parties in and made Smash more open to third parties in general. Also, they like managed to like get a lot of characters back in. I think it partially was like the trigger for them doing Everyone Is Here in Ultimate, which is good, but there's a lot of stuff that I can say is like not as good in 4 as there were in like Ultimate. Classic mode was alright. It was really bizarre, and I didn't like it as much. I feel like Ultimate's classic mode is way better, and like most of the classic modes are huge step above 4's, to be honest, but it was okay. It was an interesting spin on it. Also, I remember like fighting the Master Fortress thing like a few times, and I never beat it because I ended up having like a lot of problems trying to get through it. I'd get like so far and then fucking die in it. I didn't really enjoy 4's classic mode a whole lot though. Ultimates is really damn good though, how it's like their own, everyone's got a theme. I like that a lot. Part of the fun of like going in and checking on the new DLC is like you get to go look into classic mode and see what kind of campaign each character gets. I really do hope that like once the DLC's done, they decide to actually go and try to like actually like make another story for the game, like give us an expansion or something. That'd be cool. Make it either different or like even like a little bit more to do in World Light would be really fun. Either way, it wouldn't really matter that much, but I mean still. Sawcan multi-hit. Yeah, I remember I played Mega Man actually quite a bit in 4, and I ended up... He was like one of my mains I played. I liked him a lot. I haven't played him anywhere near as much in Ultimate. I've noticed I never really stick with like characters. The only character I've really stuck with is Olimar. I ended up enjoying playing him, and I used to play Falco a lot, but I don't really play him in Ultimate, and I always like swapped over to new characters. It happens every single Smash game. Despite playing from 64 as a little kid, I still don't have a single main that I had that stuck with me since those days. Not even since it's Melee, since I don't play Falco anymore. Oh no, I'm not waiting around for you to run away. Fuck that. I've gotta say, there's quite a few characters I've noticed in like 4 that just aren't as good in Ultimate. Maybe it's just me on like some of these, like some that I really, really like, some I'm playing, and some that are not that or just like characters I didn't enjoy fighting, kind of lame. Everybody knows about Bayonetta getting nerfed into the fucking ground, and I've got to say it's still annoying to fight Bayonetta even in Ultimate, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it is in 4. That was a big thing I noticed about 4 was nobody wanted to admit it, but the fucking DLC characters in 4 had like a lot of power creep to them, especially like the last 3 DLC characters. Yeah, I like that. And Ryuken Tyrion, the stamina mode, was like a really cool thing Sakurai did for the game. Made theirs feel really, really unique. I think like one of the Fire Emblem characters has like a theme where it's literally all different Fire Emblem characters just fight some, or like different Fire Emblem themed battles or something, and like one's got like it's all partner battles or some shit. There's interesting themes in the game. Top 15 fighters. Yeah, I never really looked into what the top 15 were. I mean, they were pretty much, yeah, I think I'd say the DLC pretty much were all the time. Like, you always hear about Cloud, Bayonetta, and fucking Corrin, and they were obviously fucking overpowered, but for some reason, every time you tried to fucking argue with somebody over this in Smash 4, it always turned to, no, you're just a scrub getting good. They're not overpowered. You're just bad at the game. It's like, no, they fucking are overpowered. You just won't fucking admit it. It's like, Cloud did like way too much fucking damage, and literally like almost every move Corrin had was fucking a kill move. And don't get me started on Bayonetta, because like fucking the entire competitive scene was like fucking fuming over how overpowered Bayonetta was, and basically they all voted to ban Bayonetta. Like, that's how you know they're fucking overpowered. I've got to say that like it's kind of prevalent in Ultimate, but not as much so, I feel like. Like, there's still a bit of power creep, but it was much less noticeable, and it's not really as bad now. It was like a small degree of power creep anyway. Like when you look at the first two DLC fighters, like Joker and Hero, Joker in particular had really bad power creep, and I'm sure that's why he got nerfed, and I'm glad he did. Like, they fucking gave Joker a good fucking nice hard smack on the knee. And Hero, I don't know if you could call Hero fixed, but I think a lot of people have like adapted to Hero, and he's still not fun to fight. I'd say he might still be a little bordering on OP, but he's a lot easier to handle nowadays. And I've realized, like, as I've played him some, that the biggest difference between Hero and Joker is, even though Hero's fucking slightly on the overpowered side, the difference is the Hero who actually takes reaction time. You have to, like, prep your moves in advance with Hero. He's strong, but you can't just fucking charge in with Hero and expect to win. You actually have to fucking and think about your moveset and, like, actually plan your moves ahead of time. You try to just throw whatever the fuck you have out and see what happens with Hero. You get your shit kicked in pretty hard, honestly. Yeah, Pichu, I think, did get the hardest nerf. Pichu deserved some of the nerfs, though. I remember a lot of people who were like, who main Pichu, who were bitching when Sakurai fucking adjusted the hitbox. But that was like, you can't seriously fucking call changing Pichu's hitbox to be better fucking a nerf. Like, Pichu was fucking and like extremely hard to hit, and I think there were actually like problems there. The hitbox is centered, like it can be crouched. It can dodge practically anything with the slightest of ease. Like, giving Pichu a bigger hitbox, just making the character work properly. There were like so many people who were like fucking getting up in arms, and they were like, "No, you ruined Pichu." It's like, fuck off. The character was fucking broken. It wasn't fucking nerfing it. They were fixing the fucking hitbox. Although there were some actual nerfs to it, I'm pretty sure. I think the one character that got the worst nerfs that were like completely undeserved would be Olimar. He was definitely pretty powerful in the early game. I don't think I would agree with the overpowered statements, but Olimar was legitimately fucking nerfed way too hard. And then it got harder to play him and fucking difficult to win matches, and like, people still kept fucking bitching, and now Olimar is basically fucking near unusable. Nice try, you fucking failed to run on me this time, fucker! God damn, that pisses me off when I have a Pokemon try to run away and ruin my streak like that. Ugh. That was too close, that fucking trail of smoke. It almost fucking ruined everything. Holy shit. Ugh. Yeah. All my items. I'm trying to think about that thing down the Kadabra. Holy shit, that was close. But like, yeah, it was. Is that Olimar didn't deserve any of the nerfs he got. Holy shit, he might deserve like the initial nerf maybe, but try playing Olimar now and tell me he's fucking balanced, because he's not. You have to fucking do like a very obtuse fucking up throw with a blue Pikmin or some shit to get a kill. Oh, confirm now, or fucking, and basically jump off stage with the fucking, and one of your aerial attacks to fucking finish somebody off, pretty much. It's like extremely difficult to actually fucking and finish people with Olimar now. Yeah, he was better, more fun to play, and they nerfed the shit out of him because of the community fucking whining. Makes me sad. But it's whatever. Hopefully Sakurai will fucking buff him back up a little more. I'm happy they at least buffed the purple Pikmin attack power, because that's like the main method of killing with Olimar is to use a purple Pikmin, so I mean, at least there's that, I guess. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Let's see, how many mains have I had that have gotten nerfed? There's King K. Rool, that's been one of them. Let's see. I have played, let's see, I got a lot of them that I've played actually overall, though. I have more mains in Ultimate than I've had in like any other game in the series. First few I played Simon, Ridley, King K. Rool. I don't think the Belmonts have gotten a nerf yet. Hopefully they won't, because they don't really deserve it, considering the fucking recovery's not good enough that deserve them getting nerfed. I mean, Tether can reach far, but I don't think it's enough to make up for what would happen if you fucking butchered them with a nerf. Yeah, Inkling got hit pretty hard. I think some of Inkling's was deserved, not completely, but I still think they didn't fucking do it hard enough on the fucking side B, just because it's so fucking brainless and easy to spam. Like, they should make it so that if you're gonna use the fucking side B, it uses more ink or something, so it doesn't encourage people to fucking keep spamming roller until they bury you. That's really goddamn annoying. It's not even a matter of like being skilled enough to dodge it or anything. It's just a matter of people fucking spam it because they know if they keep trying it, they'll probably get lucky enough to eventually hit you with it out of sheer luck. Ugh. I hated fighting Inklings early on, so I mean, I'm not exactly upset about their nerf. Yeah, that might be a thing that wouldn't be bad. I feel like Zolmak doesn't exactly deserve any nerfing. He's definitely powerful, but it'd be probably okay with a few buffs. I don't think he deserves to get a better fucking recovery though, because people fail to connect about Little Mac. As if Little Mac got better recovery, was able to recover easy, he'd probably be a fucking power creep. He already was kind of power creep in a lot of areas on Smash 4, like, there's no reason to give him a good recovery unless you want to fucking make him into a fucking total monstrosity to fight on any stage. Like, it's just not worth it. I don't know. I've had some bad memories about fighting him in 4, and I didn't really have too many problems fighting him in Ultimate, but I mean, there's always some occasions I've had to fight him and it hasn't gone over super smooth. Ugh. I don't mind though. Little Mac's not terrible. Yeah, that'd probably be fair. There's some things that like need to be fixed in terms of recovery with like certain characters, like make them a little better. I'm trying to think exactly what all. I don't like how they changed Olimar specifically though. I remember you used to be able to like pull off like I remember wasn't thinking of like it was something about I think you could like air dodge and like get your recovery back or something along those lines. And you could pull out the winged Pikmin again. I don't like how they changed the recovery because it just made him feel like incredibly harder to use. If he's an air dodge now, you just get kind of screwed over, and he's much more vulnerable in the air than he was before the nerfs happened. I hate that, honestly. You basically have to fucking risk fucking killing yourself and like pulling out an aerial if somebody tries to hit you with Olimar when you're in the air. You don't have a lot of defense options. I guess the best option to do when you're fucking recovering is to just toss all your Pikmin away and then get like that easy flight distance. I don't know. see. Thinking for a second. I don't understand. This is like something I don't understand, which is a problem with Terry, but I legitimately don't understand why Terry's side specials don't fucking snap to ledge. It's not really a big deal, but it's really annoying when you're like you make a small fuck up and you get the problem of like you do like a fucking burning knuckle and then you fucking end up falling down lower because you didn't immediately think to fucking start or a crack sheet like really like or that wasn't like crack sheet. I don't think you're right. Is it? No, I thought it's called rising tackle. I get the moves mixed up. My bad. But yeah, like you don't pull it off immediately. You start fucking falling to your death because for some reason and it doesn't snap to the ledge. Like people like make up these excuses about it, like making it even too powerful. But like legitimately, how would it change anything to fucking make his side specials snap to ledge? Like what huge difference would it add? Rising Taco. Yeah, I always just considered it to be said as Rising Tackle, and I'm not actually sure how the pronunciation is. Hey, welcome back, Wayne. Good to see you. Sorry if I didn't read your messages earlier. I was meaning to. It's just that it looked like you were gone and you weren't talking, so I just continued the conversation. But I mean, you're more than welcome to keep discussing stuff. It's good to see you're back, though. I've just been talking Smash stuff for a little bit, actually. Actually, if I can get my shiny tonight, I might actually go for putting on a Smash stream tomorrow, but something tells me we're not going to get that lucky. I've already been in for like 2 hours. Let's see, what else can I think to bring up? Oh, I mean, I've talked about it before, but I'm interested in what the DLC pass, the expansion pass going to have for new fighters. I mean, obviously, we know about the Arms fighter. I'd say all the fighters that have been added so far, maybe barring and Byleth, have been like pretty good additions to the game. And I'm excited to see about how they do the Arms fighter. You couldn't get Gastly, or are you still trying it? I mean, it's gonna take a while. I know you're feeling, man, especially if you want to play other games. You have to wait a while, though. I've had points where I've had to wait like 3 to 4 days or something to get like a shiny. At times, it's not fun to put up with. Yeah, Arms is a good choice, and I think Arms should have had like a rep from the very beginning. Obviously, they didn't since they had Springman as an assist trophy, but I mean, I'm glad they're planning to add somebody now. Hopefully, it is Springman, because if they do, then that basically dispels assist trophies not being fighters. And I'm gonna be honest, I think Waluigi should be allowed to be a character in Smash. He's literally like the last big standout in terms of Mario characters, and he's in every spin-off. He absolutely deserves to be there alongside the other characters, like as the proper rep from like Mario sports games and Mario Party, not fucking Daisy. Looks like he's not getting in. Wait, you talking about Springman? Waluigi? I'm not really sure. I mean, really, I could see it being Springman not getting in. I hope he is, but I mean, oh, Waluigi. Yeah, you might be right, but there's no way to know unless Sakurai's like issued a statement on it. Like, if Springman gets in, I think that's a very big chance the Waluigi could come back, honestly, and actually get a slot. Waluigi deserves it. He's like the one Mario character that actually fits in the most. It almost feels like they were taking a fucking jab at Waluigi when they added Piranha Plant. Like they were basically claiming that a fucking Piranha Plant has more depth and is more interesting than Waluigi, which is a little fucked up, honestly. How would I feel if it's all said and done and never happens? I mean, I wouldn't be completely upset, but I would be a little bit saddened. Like, Waluigi deserves it, and I know Nintendo is, like, well aware there's demand for it. Like, if this Fighter Pass ends up focusing on first party, which it probably won't, I mean, it might, since an Arms fighter is the first thing they announced. But, like, if they did end up doing first party as their theming, then, I mean, it makes total sense to have Waluigi be in, because he's, like, pretty much the biggest request in terms of first party characters now. Like, they don't add him and they have like other first party characters in, it's basically just fucking and kicking salt or kicking sand in the wound, I should say, like kicking sand in the eyes of anybody who wants Waluigi in, because there's enough fan demand. I don't know of any character or that's first party that has as many requests as Waluigi anymore, because all the other requests are already added to the game. Players that are new to the game and expand the franchise, yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a lot of good characters that got added. They added a lot of stuff that deserved to be, like a lot of characters that deserve to be added, like K. Rool and Ridley. There's a lot of stuff that was like really good about Ultimate. If nothing else, it's going to be a great roster all said and done, even if it isn't what we're wanting. I have like a lot of hopes about like different third-party reps, though. I still want Geno in really badly. Geno would be great, and good rep for like Mario RPGs as a whole. He's like a super unique character. Plus, it would maybe encourage Square to let Nintendo use the character again in a remake or a sequel. It's like one of my favorite RPG games of all time, and I'd love to play it again, like a remake or whatever. It's a shame they just kind of got rid of him and only used him for a cameo after his initial appearance. Oh well, though. Also, I don't know how many people are with me here, but I genuinely think Phoenix Wright deserves a slot in the roster. Easily one of the best, like, third-party reps that hasn't been added to the roster yet. He's also, like, a natural and simple choice for, like, a Capcom rep. Unfortunately, Capcom would probably be quick to fucking throw another popular character to Nintendo before they would fucking Phoenix Wright. But, I mean, he totally, he's a perfect match for the Smash cast. I don't know how to describe it. He's got a crazy enough game series, and like the general vibe of the series, despite being fucking murder cases, like he still has that kind of personality that vibes with, like, say, Mario. Like, he's a goofy enough character. And he's already been in fighting games. I mean, if they can translate that into a Smash moveset, he could work out. They just have to, like, probably take a few creative liberties with him. Come to think of it, has Capcom said anything about another Ace Attorney game? It's been a while since we got anything. Like, the last thing is that collection, I think. I think I read, like, not that long ago that they were talking about wanting to do, like, 2 separate collections, and they, like, the other collection was already confirmed to be, like, Apollo Justice through Apollo Justice through the Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice, so basically 4, 5, and 6, so I'm wondering, apparently, like, I've also heard there was going to be a new game that's, like, already in development for Switch, but God knows when we'll see Ace Attorney 7. I'm kind of hyped about it, though, because if you guys haven't played Ace Attorney or haven't played Ace Attorney 6, that is a fucking goddamn amazingly good Ace Attorney game. I seriously enjoy it a lot. Like, that was, like, first time I played it, I fell in love with that game. The cases are all written really, really well, and they're, like, my favorite in the series. The only one that I didn't like is, like, the 4th case. It's a really weird filler case, and upon replaying it, because I liked it so much, I don't even mind the 4th case as much as I did before, so it's just a really solid game overall. I'm going to get into a tiny bit of spoiler content. It's not really anything too big, so don't worry, but one thing I will say is, like, I find it weird how, like, every case in the game basically was, like, one-day segments. Like, all the cases were, like, 1 day of investigating and 1 day of you going and doing the actual case in the court. Like, there wasn't any case that spanned over 2 days. They all got resolved in, like, really long court case days. It was done really well, though, and it was all, like, the stakes were fucking really high. I really enjoyed, like, every single case in the game. If it gets ported over to a Switch, like that rumor suggests, like, I'll play it on stream for you guys. I don't know if I want to, like, skip straight to it or play the entire series first, but I'd probably be willing to consider it because I like the game so much. It's seriously fun as fuck. Oh gosh. Come to think of it, like, this is like a general thought, but like, it seems like Capcom's been really silent in terms of like all their franchises outside of Resident Evil. I can't think of any others that have gotten any actual spotlight at the moment. I mean, they did the ZX Legacy Collection, but I mean, talking about like purely in terms of new games, not just like re-releases. Hopefully they're working on another Mega Man game. I would love to see a Mega Man X9 really soon. People give Capcom a lot of flack, and I will agree they make some like really dumb, greedy decisions, but overall, I feel like Capcom has made some really good games, and like they've made some positive changes over the years, and then made like a much better company out of themselves than they were before. Like all their releases now are like really high quality. I don't know. I find myself whenever I look at their new stuff, it's like always exciting to look into. You gotta go, your computer needs to charge. Yeah, it's alright, I understand, man. I use a laptop as well, but I also have mine like plugged into the power socket all the time, so it's not like I have to worry about the battery too much. I can totally relate to that. It's not like you can always keep it plugged in either. Or if there's like general power issues. I'm so lucky I haven't had like too many issues like that in the time I've streamed. I don't know how I've gotten that lucky, but it seems like there's usually at least one time where the fucking power goes out every year, if not more, and like all the places I've lived before. And since I moved to this apartment, I don't think I've ever had any issues like that. You've got a low battery too? Alright, that sucks, but I mean, I understand, man. Thanks for hanging out anyway. It's been fun. I'm about to wrap up in a little bit, actually, because as much as I'm enjoying this, I'm going to probably just go on to the 3-hour mark and then stop for tonight, because I'd want to do more, but I was only going to do like 3 to 4 hours of stream anyway, so just going to get my Kadabra. Okay, that sounds great. I'm glad you're able to hang out longer. I mean, wouldn't have been upset if you had to leave. Either way, I understand, but I'm glad your battery's okay. But yeah, I was planning on stopping soon because I was just going to try and do like 3 to 4 hours. I don't really like going on for like huge extensive periods of time. Whenever I do this in my spare time, I usually end up doing like 2 to 3 hours of me hunting for a shiny, and if I don't find that, I end up putting it into sleep mode and then like resting for like an hour or two, and usually giving the Switch like a few hours to like sit down and like recharge itself. So in that time, I just like take it easy, and then I pull it back out, and when I'm ready, and go after the target again for another 2 to 3 hours. Of course, I can't do that as easy with streaming, so I have to stream every time I want to do this, but I mean, actually enjoy hanging out and doing this, so it's not like it's a big deal. You keep up with like game news more than I do, so I was actually, well, I'll wait until you read your message. Nope, no, I don't want Jigglypuff, no. Not gonna screw my chain over. Turn, you take about 6 hours to collect everything. I'm not surprised. I've heard people say that it takes like forever to get like 300 points in the tourney. I enjoy it, but I mean, I have a feeling even though fishing can be fun, it'd probably still get boring after like 6 hours of doing it and sitting there wasting all that time. Especially if you're like using your points to make sure you buy the prizes as well as get your gold trophy. And then there's a matter after you're done with that, if you want to actually get all the collectibles, you have to do 2 more tourneys so you can get a silver and a gold trophy, or not silver and gold, but in silver and a bronze trophy, as well as a gold. Let's see. But yeah, I was gonna say, you keep up with like game news more than I do, so I was actually curious. Do you know if there's like been any like talk about PS5's release dates? I think I heard before that there was a possibility that Sony was like going to delay a PS5 because of the coronavirus, but I'm not actually sure if that's like an official thing or not. Figured since you keep up with that kind of news more often than I do, you might actually know for sure. I mean, they did unveil their controller, but... Oh, okay. I'm not too surprised. Yeah, there's probably going to be a delayed release date from 2020 to 2021 if that's the case. Even if it's not coronavirus. For all the talk they've done, I'm surprised they haven't just shown it off. Like, I mean, I guess they're trying to avoid overhyping it. I don't know. Well, Microsoft's, like, not said much about their new Xbox, even though they've shown it. Come to think of it, there's, like, not a lot of new games from anybody being talked about right now. I think Sony has, like, some new stuff on the way, but that's the only big publisher I can think of that had, like, releases that were, like, really, really far off. Like, I remember talking about, like, a bunch of stuff over at the Game Awards that was coming out. I guess there's a few things like, what was it called? Bravely Default 2 on the Switch. Let's see. Overheating problems, the 4K is too powerful. That's not Series X. Bad. That's interesting. I don't know. I guess I'll find out more about it when it's shown off properly. I'm still interested, but hopefully it won't be bad. I mean, who knows, really? There for the heat to go. So at the jet engine, dollar on the fans, they're loud. That's awful, but I mean, I guess that's to be expected. They're trying to cut down on costs. Because they're trying to make it powerful and then also affordable too. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. That's just, ugh. Let me see, where's our fucking candy at right now in terms of Abra candy or... Okay, we're at Smart Candy we've been collecting. I haven't checked it very much. Need to look, because I need to sell this shit when I get too much of it. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff on PS4 that looks really good and a lot I want to catch up on, like, say, a Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sony already confirmed there was going to be, like, backwards compatibility with the PS5, right? I'm pretty sure I read that PS5 would be compatible, like, backwards compatible with PS4. I just wanted to make sure. I don't really read up on PS5 news too much, so I'm a little bit out of the loop on that one. Let's see. Smart Candy. Not too much on those. This is... Okay, there's not enough on any of these to be worth selling. Not 100%, just the top 100%? That's odd. I mean, I hope they'll do most of the big ones. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to check out, but I mean... It's whatever. If they don't have, like, all of them, I guess it may impact my decision to buy, though, but... I was gonna get stuff like Spider-Man PS4, also gonna get Dreams, Final Fantasy VII Remake, all the big stuff on PlayStation 5 that they had backwards compatibility, but hearing this, it's, like, a little worrying, actually. Oh, man. God, you know, looking back at 2020, it's going to be like... I have a feeling we're all going to remember 2020 as a really shitty year, and for good reason. Like, not only is it bad for fucking video games, but also there's the matter of fact that it still isn't a fucking coronavirus vaccine, and it's basically kept everybody quarantined for the entire year. Like, everybody's unable to get out because of this fucking terrible disease going around. Like, this year is going to be probably the fucking worst start of a fucking decade ever. Hopefully they get a vaccine developed soon. I've been hearing about how they're, like, trying desperately to rush out a new vaccine that they could hopefully get ready before the end of the year, but, I mean, still very, very unlikely to actually happen. Spider-Man only back in the load time 0.8 seconds. That's good. I mean, that's one of the games I wanted to play. I'm sure Dreams will be back with compatibility, because some of them, they're like really big games they were supporting, and it only makes sense for Final Fantasy VII Remake to be backwards compatible as well. Although if they put it on PC or another platform, I'd probably be willing to buy it on that before I would PS5, so I guess it depends. That's why I mostly buy, like, different stuff for... Or, like, I want to buy, like, all my stuff for Switch and PC mostly, is because I like all the games I want mostly come out on fucking PC or Switch or something. Like, I can get my Nintendo exclusives on Switch and stuff I want that's, like, popular enough to get ported, or the rest of it will be on Steam usually. Dream's supposed to come out in 2016. Yeah, I think I remember that. They just didn't finish it in time. It took them longer than expected or whatever. What happened to fucking Battletoads, actually? I know that's not Sony, but like... I'm pretty sure Microsoft teased that like a year or two ago, and I don't think there's been any words on the new Battletoads game in some time. Like, that's something you'd expect to be... Like, to have an actual release date now. I mean, I guess they could be pushing it into, like, release for their new Xbox instead. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was wondering what was going on with that. I don't think I actually played too much Battletoads. I think I may have played a little bit of it, but I haven't really played it very much. Maybe I could do that on, like, my NES Classic. If I could ask for, like, any game to get ported to Switch at all, I think I'd want to get it, like, the fucking Rare Replay Collection. That'd be fucking awesome. And Microsoft and Nintendo seem like they're on decent terms. I wonder if they'd be willing to port it. Bad's too damn hard. Yeah, I've heard it's, like, ridiculous. I think I played, like, a little bit, and I find it pretty hard. I haven't played, like, enough to actually judge it, though. It doesn't really feel like it's super fun, though, from the looks of things. I think I played an arcade version, actually, and it was hard. I don't remember. I played a lot of arcade games back in the day. The Turbo Tunnel, yeah, that part's fucking infamous. Old games are fucking legitimately, like, way too fucking hard half the time. Not all of them, but, like, a lot of them have that problem. You want to talk, like, a game series that's, like, extremely fucking hard and, like, way too hard? Fucking Ninja Gaiden. All the games have, like, at least one problem with them or another that makes them, like, extremely fucking annoying to play through. Ninja Gaiden 1 is okay until you get to the final boss fight, like, the last level, and then things turn to fucking bullshit, and it's, like, near impossible to fucking beat. I cannot beat Ninja Gaiden because the fucking final boss fight... Bootsy and Battletoads? No, I haven't. It sounds interesting, though. But... yeah, like... I've tried, like, so many times to fucking beat that game. Even made it to, like, the last few stages of the boss, but not able to fucking make it through it. That's how ridiculously hard fucking Ninja Gaiden's final boss fight is. Like, what were they fucking thinking? You get punished way too hard if you fucking mess up on that. Ninja Gaiden 2 is a problem because even though it's good, it's, like, too long, and you kind of get worn down before you want to fucking finish the game, even though it's, like, got a manageable difficulty. And then Ninja Gaiden 3, I don't know how bad it is in terms of, like, overall difficulty, but it feels, like, really fucking hard, and for the US version, for some reason, they fucking limited the continues when the Japanese version doesn't have limited continues. Like, that's really fucking dumb. That series has, like, serious problems with its difficulty. I've thought about streaming Ninja Gaiden, but I don't want to fucking put up with that shit. Like, even some of my favorite older games I played, like how I enjoyed Castlevania. I played Castlevania 1, but I didn't stream it yet, and Castlevania 3, that game kind of destroys itself with its paths if you're not careful. Like, it's too hard for its own good at some point. I still like it, but, like, there were some definite problems with it. Excuse me, words are getting a little bit awkward for me at the moment. I guess I'm tired. What happens when I do this shit for so long? This gameplay doesn't really stimulate your brain too much either. I'm curious, actually. Would you guys be like interested in seeing like maybe like some older games soon? I'm actually planning on doing some anyway, but I'm talking like NES or SNES games. I have like a lot of stuff I'd like to play. Might stick to like some of the catalog on the online. I thought about a Yoshi's an Island playthrough again, so I did it on Twitch instead of YouTube, but I also would like to wait until a bit later before I do it. I feel like Yoshi's Island would be a really good game to replay sometime. No? I mean, alright. Considering how this year's going, there will be mostly older stuff anyway. Not okay with that. What, do you mean, like, Yoshi's Island, or what do you... Oh, you mean, are you just saying, like, the N64? Or even, like, the SNES and NES games? I mean, I'm just asking in general, but... Actually, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. I might do it eventually. I'm not gonna play, like, too many NES or SNES games. Only thing I'd probably play out of retro is maybe fucking Yoshi's Island, I don't know. I like the next game I want to start after I finish my other stuff. I'm not actually sure, but I have a few candidates. I'm thinking, since I haven't been able to like buy any old stuff, and I'm probably not going to be buying as many games for a while. I'm like trying to save up my money. Then my next game I purchase will probably be after Xenoblade. Well, I'm going to get Animal Crossing, but I'm also going to I'm not going to get the Mega Man Zero collection for a while, it looks like, after all, even though I want it. Like, I'm gonna wait on it. I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna move on and do Mega Man, or not Mega Man, but excuse me, I'm gonna do Tron and Bond next, and after I finish that game, I think if I say Bond, whatever, it doesn't matter if I got the name right or not. I mean, we'll be corrected when I play it. I'm gonna do that like I originally wanted to, and then move on to Mega Man and X3, like, shortly after, and do Mega Man Legends 2. Then we'll do the Zero collection, like, probably next year sometime, maybe. Animal Crossing came out? Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame you. It kind of got overshadowed since it was like a collection of older games. It's still good, but I mean, it got really overshadowed by remakes and stuff. Ironic, because one of those remakes is Capcom's remake, being Resident Evil 3. Oh, man. Come to think, there's a lot of interesting rumors going on about Resident Evil 3, or not really, but Resident Evil in general, I mean, excuse me. Like, apparently what people are saying is that there's not going to be a Code Veronica remake coming out, and that instead they're going straight for a Resident Evil 4 remake, and everybody isn't up in arms about Resident Evil 4 getting remade because it's already, like, really perfect as it is. I'm not surprised Capcom would be dumb enough to, like, tamper with the game that was already fine. Hopefully I'm wrong about that, but I mean, they probably are going to remake Resident Evil 4, trying to capitalize on the remake success, I bet. Other thing I've been hearing, which is not really anything too big, but it's like something interesting, is like apparently the RE8 was supposed to be like focused on some village, and they were going to be using that for their setting. I don't think there's like any rumor about whether or not it was like in first person or third person, though. Actually, come to think of it, it's been some time. Like, what the hell have they been doing with outside of these remakes? Like, shouldn't RE8 be ready to show off by now? Or are they trying to hold it off for next gen? I'm kind of confused. Like, you'd think RE8 would be released by this point. I'm pretty sure RE7 is like 5 years old or something by now. I'd have to double check to figure out exactly how old it is, but it's definitely not super new anymore. They've just been releasing all these remakes, and it's really weird. I don't know. I'm ashamed to admit, I've not really played very much Resident Evil. I haven't really played any of them as like full games. I think all I played was like Resident Evil Revelations on my 3DS. Like, I played the demo and I liked it enough, but I didn't really end up buying it for whatever reason. I need to actually properly play it. If they end up confirming that they're going to remake 4, then I'll pick up 4 at some point on my Switch, and we can do a stream of 4 so that I can, like, actually play through the original and, like, see what it's like. 'Cause I actually hear a lot of good things about it, and I want to play through it and beat it at least once before they do the remake, in case I ever play the remake if they do one. By the way, like, hey, how do you feel about Resident Evil, Wayne? I'm actually curious. You play any of the remakes? I'm just curious, since there's, like, some of the few new things that are coming out right now. I'll say that I haven't, even though I've never really played it properly, like, the bits that I have played a Resident Evil gameplay I actually like quite a bit. And before anybody asks, I haven't played Silent Hill either. I haven't played either one of the series too much, really. I've been wanting to get the Resident Evil 1 remake a long time. That's been out for ages, though, but I've been wanting to get that. As well as now I'm wanting to get the RE2 remake. God, there's a lot of catching up to do if I ever do, though. It'll be fun, at least. I don't think the story's, like, extremely connected, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I was thinking about, like, the series that could get, like, representations from Capcom if they got another rep in Smash. I have to assume, like, if they... Like, there's quite a few, now that I think about it. I guess it'd be, like, if they were to put somebody in Smash, it'd be either Dante, Monster Hunter rep, let's see. Phoenix Wright's possible, but I don't think it'd happen, unfortunately. I want him in the game. There's another one. Or maybe a Resident Evil rep. I wonder which one of those has, like, the highest chances of happening. I mean, we technically sort of have a Monster Hunter stage in the game, but I don't think they're going to use that as a thing for trying to add him, like, the Monster Hunter to the game. And let me guess, this isn't shiny. I don't see any sparkles on it. No, it's not shiny. Well, sorry, Articuno. Not interested in an ordinary Articuno right now. Very rare you get to see those out in the wild like that, but I'm just not going to be taking it. And I forgot to check. I'm pretty sure I'm good on it, but I didn't need to check on my nature. I set this is really quick. Give me a second. Let's see what we've got here. Got my Pokédex. My box is a little messed up. So I had it organized, and I accidentally hit the wrong option. Now everything's all screwed up where it's alphabetized and not how I like it, where I can see what I want easy. Wait, which am I looking for? K? Went too far. Give me a second. Almost. Where the fuck is it? I swear I went to K already. Wait, oh, that's right, it's at the bottom of the box. I forget, they always put them at the very bottom. There we go. Timid nature. Okay, they're all timid. That's what I want to make sure, is that I got the right nature set up. That way I didn't have any issues with collecting my Kadabras. Box match, I like the AC item management system. Yeah, I've heard the storage is not the best. It's not terrible, but it doesn't look like it's great either. I mean, I don't know, I don't have the game, but it'd be nice if you could expand your pockets. Looks like the storage could be better. Meanwhile, it feels like you can have, well, I shouldn't say an infinite pocket in Smash. It's not true. You can hold one thing at a time, but like, you can pocket just about anything. Not necessarily the same case in actual game. Fucking noticed a lot of people since I don't think you can put it in like a proper storage. It's like people fucking drop all their turnips they get from Joanne on their floor and have like a billion of them. Too bad they go bad in like a single week, so the only way to really make the most of them is if you travel to somebody's island, but I mean that might arguably makes it like partially defeat the purpose. Yeah. I know what you mean. There are definitely management problems in a lot of game franchises, and those sound about right. Skyrim, Borderlands. Yeah, it sounds about right. I'd even argue there's a few issues with Zelda item management. Not all the time, but like sometimes getting to your shit fast in Zelda can be really annoying, especially in like Breath of the Wild. There's like a page of like all sorts of shit to look through. Or just in general, sometimes finding the right item you want in a Zelda game can be a pain in the ass to work around. Then you have like crafting and like finding materials and shit you have to deal with. It's just like, it adds up to be a headache after a while. Oh boy, something tells me we're not gonna get our Kadabra tonight, and that's okay, but it would have been nice. At least tomorrow when I do this, I'll be feeling a little energized and I can just keep fucking respawning these things. Actually, I forgot to change my Pokeball type while I was in here. Yeah, there are a lot of games and like fun games that need quality life upgrades. I'd agree with that. Animal Crossing could use a few. Not completely necessarily, maybe, but it probably wouldn't do a lot and actually go a long way to helping the game, honestly. Oh well. I mean, I'm sure Nintendo's probably not going to change anything despite people grappling at them, even though it would help. I would be much happier if this game got a quality of life update to like make it so I could use a Pro Controller instead of a Joy-Con, but I mean, whatever. Also, the option to fucking and shiny hunt Mew in the game so I can get literally every other shiny would be great, but I mean, whatever. I can say right now, I think after I'm done with this, I am not touching another Pokemon game for quite some time. At least not anything mainline, probably. I just want to get my shiny living decks done now. Let's see. I have another thing I want to talk about, but I think since it's already so late and I don't really... It's like a pretty vast topic, I'm gonna wait and talk about it tomorrow. Like something I wanted to bring up. Also, I'd put music on, but for 10 minutes, I'm not sure it's actually worth it, so we'll just leave it at this. Hold on a second. Was I thinking? Oh yeah, I was gonna check on a page on Chrome really quick. Might read up on the news. Not really been a lot to talk about news-wise, just mostly coronavirus talk and seeing some stuff about pets or people postings have been stuck inside all the time. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Not tonight, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but considering that it's already like 10 minutes from me stopping or less, then I mean, I'm not going to be doing them tonight. Tomorrow I probably will, though. There's a good chance I'll do it tomorrow. Once I'll be busy. Unless, of course, I get my shiny here, but I don't think... Actually, no, I probably wouldn't bother to stretch it out even if I did. I was going to say, like, I might bother to go ahead and, like, go for another shiny Pokemon after this if I got it here, but I probably won't. Let's see, what can I bring up then? I've heard about, like, some really weird and interesting shit. I almost feel a little bad about, like, the whole situation with how things with, like, rent is going, like, with, like, apartments. I mean, I don't really like the idea of to pay for a place to live. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but, it, like, people are, like, holding on their landlords, or even though it's supposed to be illegal, but they can't evict them right now, so causing issues, them getting like annoyed to like keep their... It's hard, I'm looking for. We'll just keep them living to keep going, and I must feel a little bad hearing about that, but I mean, I don't know. Saw a post about that on Reddit earlier. Definitely causing a lot of issues, though. It's gonna make family gatherings really awkward. Like, and if we don't have any kind of vaccine by the time Thanksgiving and Christmas roll around, I'm not sure what it's going to be like going to family gatherings. I don't think anybody in my family has it, so I wouldn't be too worried about it, but like, it doesn't seem like it'll be safe to travel if the coronavirus still being an issue. Hell, I mean, I've already imagined this screwed up some kid's Easter, like the time where people get out and do the Easter egg hunt, even though it's probably gotten a lot less common over the years, and can't even do that because of the virus. Oh, fuck. Let's see, what else can I talk about? For the record, what I was going to talk about isn't anything like too big. I think I was concerned. I was going to talk about some anime stuff, because I've been watching some new stuff, but I wanted to wait until I've got more time to talk about it in depth. Since I'm about to stop in like 5 minutes, I figured it'd be better to not start the topic up. Let's see, though. Well, actually, it is something I can talk about. I've been meaning to I've been meaning to do like a lot of projects over the years, and I hate that I have to say this, but like I always feel like I end up canceling shit that I want to work on, or I get delay it, and like I end up like procrastinating to the point where I don't want to do it anymore. It's like really hard to talk about. Like I enjoy like working on different videos, but I have a real problem with like committing to a project once I work on it. Like I wanted to do like a video on Square after my problem with Dragon Quest, and I dropped it after the hey man, shall I unblock my video? But I feel like I should have finished it even if I wasn't going to upload it, just in case I needed to. Maybe I'll go back to it, but like, that was like a really rough point. I also had like a series of like different reviews I wanted to do, and never got around to it. So, I mean, I have like a lot of things that I wanted to do that I keep dropping. I'm really bad about that. Even for... It's not, like, not intentional, but I haven't got my video watching part of my Discord set up yet, and I haven't got the time to sit down, like, do channel changes that I want, like, sitting down and putting playlists together, which I really should do. I'll probably focus on that in the near future, though. Whenever I get more free time. I hate to say it, but I thought about doing like an extended break. I know I've been doing breaks a little more, and it's not been intentional entirely. Like it's partially been like necessity and just like getting worn down. But like I thought about, like I've been a little bit down lately. Like it's weird to talk about, but earlier I was feeling kind of depressed, like not very good. I think even though I'm a little over it by now, I'm still feeling a little bit of the sadness from like how I got rid of my cat, and I was like I had trouble getting along with it, so like I think it's still weighing down on me a little bit and putting a damper in my mood, and it's feeling upset, and like considering if I was even going to stream, because it was like really bothering me to the point that I wasn't sure I'd be able to keep my commentary going, because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to think while I was in an upset mood like that. Thankfully it went away and I've been able to keep things going, but things like this make everyday life harder, and I don't know, I have a weird problem in my personality where I get depressed really easy. I'm gonna try again with a kitten in the future, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should get a dog instead, since dogs are like really, really good for that kind of stuff. They're practically therapeutic animals. They love attention. It's hard to stay depressed when a dog's coming up to you and loving you. If I got a dog, though, the only problem is I have to find a breed that fits me. Wouldn't mind, it'd just be not easy. Let me see. Going pro on Valorant. Yeah, I've heard about that game on Twitch. A lot of people have been playing it. I think it's a Riot Games game. Their advertising campaign for it seems pretty smart, like having the drops thing, and then you watch people playing it that have the drops enabled. You supposedly can get access to the beta. That's kind of a neat little feature, even if it is a weird one. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's certainly intelligent and well thought out. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It kind of looks similar to Overwatch to me, with like a bit of CSGO in it. It looks interesting. Actually, I missed a post or two. I'll get back to that in a second. Saw the music stuff. I might read that just yet. I just got 2 new updates that were quality last stuff. Villagers dialogue, and 2, you can set more times in your pocket. Yeah, I remember trying to play Pocket Camp, and I wanted to play it, but I didn't end up liking it very much. I found it to just be kind of and I didn't feel like real Animal Crossing to me, so I just ended up not really playing it. I ended up not liking it very much. I think Nintendo's like more recent mobile games have been kind of not very good, and like a lot of them have been kind of scummy with like their microtransaction practices. I don't know about Dr. Mario World. I haven't played it. I don't know if it's actually salvageable, but I can safely say that it doesn't look that way with how Pocket Camp evolved and how also fucking Mario Kart Tour was just a disaster from the moment it actually got released. Okay, we passed the 3-minute mark. I mean, I tried. I'm like actually out of breath. I'm just gonna go to where I can save my game easy, and we'll pick up tomorrow since actually at the point where I'm tired anyway and about to stop. Stream offline, that's weird. I didn't go offline. I don't know what was wrong, but I'm stopping for tonight anyway because I'm actually really tired. I wanted to stop. I could do more. I think because I had just returned and I had like a long week of like working on me doing like a bunch of like housework, it probably got me worn down. I'm gonna pause it here and we'll put the game in the sleep mode. That's enough for tonight. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I had quite a bit of fun. Since we didn't get our shiny tonight, I can tell you I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not going to leave this off a day because I have to play this to get the shiny and keep the chain going. So, yeah, see you guys tomorrow sometime. I have a bit of plans. I'm going to check with the local animal shelter. I want to go check out the animals there. So, probably after I get done at the animal shelter, I'll stream sometime. I'll let you guys know on Discord. Anyway, later, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye.